What you mean?
Nothing.
I got a shout out. Just what I'm saying. Just trying to change it up. School teaching. All good.
Trying to pull a law in London out here in these streets.
Yeah, man. Trying to get it together out here a little bit, man. Make myself look like something.
Be good. All right, y'all. Was it good though? Podcast episode 36. Of course, we discuss, debate, review, disagree. Depending on our segment, we may argue, but we'll see what happens. Some of your favorite movies and TV shows, some old, some new. We've been pretty recent lately, so we see how they go in the future. I'm Chris. We are here, and we got two great co-hosts here, ready to dive into maybe a movie or TV show. We don't know yet, but we got Jazz first. Jazz, what's up? How you doing today?
I'm good. Over there putting them on the edge, like
yeah,
so
just to make
find
sure.
Out soon, but you don't know exactly what we're reviewing yet.
Exactly. You got to keep watching to see what we're doing. Jason, what's good? How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing, sir?
Doing good. Yeah. So secrets out. We're doing a movie. We're doing. Y'all got through the intro, so we can let you in. We're doing You People. You People came out very recently, January actually, and it's on Netflix for you guys to check it out. Pretty good cast, and it's a little bit I guess I would call it a rom-com, so we'll go with that. Would you agree with that, Jason?
I believe so.
Okay. All right, so rom-com, You People. But before we get into it, the likes, the subscribers, the follows, the subs, all of that, we appreciate. Of course, I'm always gonna acknowledge that and show appreciation to that. The views on YouTube, keep piling it in. We appreciate that. We've been seeing some growth there, so that's good to see as well. And another surprise, I ain't let y'all know this before, but Jazz is back in the driver's seat, and she's going to be leading for You People today. So I got the intro. Jazz, whenever you're ready.
Appreciate that, Chris. Appreciate that. You People. Yes. This movie, Chris, don't start laughing yet.
You're right.
Let me get into it. Look, so it's funny because how this movie started out, you hear two people having a conversation. And then you get the nice little graphic arts that you see before we even see anybody. And when I first started watching, I was just like, chances are they're not having a regular conversation. They're probably doing a podcast, which is funny because we do a podcast. So I was just like, let me see what kind of stuff that they mentioned and they're discussing. They were talking about their version of Obama. And then some other topics they were talking about was how 2014 was a really fire year. And they listed all the stuff. Do y'all remember the things that they listed? It was the ALS challenge. Did y'all do that challenge?
Nah.
I got called out, but nah, I wasn't doing it.
I'm the only one who did it.
Oh,
wow.
Of course you threw water on yourself.
Well, no, somebody else did it. And it was a bucket full of ice water.
Yeah, it's the doctors and nurses was like going away from that. That was you can really go into shock doing this. So it was like you probably shouldn't.
They always trying to scare somebody. It's for a good cause.
Yeah, exactly, and it made a lot of money.
Wait. Jazz, did you donate it? You donated, or did you just throw the water on yourself?
No, I mean I threw something out there.
Wait, threw something out where? Like money or
like so. I didn't. The pressure.
That's too much stuttering. Yeah. Let's not incriminate Jazz.
Because a lot of people was throwing ice water. They weren't throwing them ducats though. They weren't throwing no money out. They were just getting wet.
So
we could do that for free anyway. We don't need no bucket to do that either.
So I think I do remember donating something, but I'm not gonna say it was a lot. Like a little something.
You was like, it was 2014. You was like. Yeah. Like
young, so
rallies.
Anyway, but yeah, like as y'all was listening to some of the stuff that they were mentioning on their podcast, would y'all listen? Would y'all subscribe?
I may listen. I like Sam J, but for other reasons outside, like I'm not in here, but I know Sam J from another thing, so like I enjoy her. So I think what she was bringing to it is what would have been my driving force is to get me into the show. So I like her comments and her commentary.
Oh, poor Ezra. But in this scene, we do meet Mo and Ezra. Ezra is pretty much who we will be following along with Lauren London's character, but we aren't there yet. So we follow Ezra to church. this scene was how are y'all feeling the vibes? Because we learned that Ezra is Jewish. Would this seem like a good service y'all would go to? Like, yeah, you know, on a good Sunday.
Yeah. So, you know, we'll let that's
very
for
touchy.
that's for them. That wouldn't have been, that's not the service that I'm used to. I would have definitely been more on, you know, Eddie, I mean on you know, Akbar and Amira side of things, which I've actually gone to mosque, so it would have been completely different for me. So no, I don't think that would have been my fly or my style.
I mean, it don't seem like it was much of Ezra's style either, because as you see what everybody else had on and what Ezra had on, he obviously stood out and on his own creative path, which is a lot different than, I guess you could say, his sister, kind of, sort of. He seemed more to express himself visually, but we see the dialogue that they're having during this service.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of talking, a lot of cursing, and I was just like, y'all kind of loud too. I was like, oh my goodness. I'm sure the people around him was just like, y'all.
Wait, so question. I don't know if Chris have, but Jay, you ever cursed at church?
So, okay. You know how like when you drop something, it slip out? So yeah, I'm not proud of it, but I had a few things slip. I'm not gonna have a full-on conversation with you in church and I'm just cussing crazy.
Got you. Okay. I don't think I've ever cursed in church. Even like to this day, I don't think I've ever cursed. I remember when I was like 15 or 16, my cousin's like, I mean, it's just you can say whatever you want up in here. It's just, you know, you're not gonna die like right then and there. I'm like, oh, okay.
Right then and there.
You got it.
Yeah, I ain't trying to find out.
But after the service, we see some really weird things going on with the people that Ezra ran into as he was trying to make his way out of there. I'm not going to dive deep into that, but was there anything in this scene that y'all wanted to mention?
We're gonna talk about him going to see his dick. What you mean? We're gonna go right into that scene.
That was if any one of us would have pointed it out, it would be Jason. So
yeah, that was kind of wild. You know, what was he?
Was he
podiatrist, right? Podiatrist. He was a podiatrist, and he said, "You want to go to the bathroom and look at you?" I'm like, "Wait, look at what?" And his mom,
free of cost?
his mom was like, yeah, oh, big trouble. He's in big trouble. She was like, so like he's I mean, he's not been convicted or anything like that. We're not saying that. Like, so he's not guilty. Is guilty until innocent until proven guilty. So that's what we ride with in this situation.
Said, I believe in the justice system. He was like, he interacted with me for 10 seconds. He's like, I'm with the victim on this. Like that entire exchange, I was just like, yikes. But and also during this scene, Shelly, who's Ezra's mom, was telling her how he wanted her to speak to another young lady that was at the service as well.
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, Ezra's just like, Mom, like, relax, like you doing too much. And so he goes on a date with her. Was this how did y'all feel about their interaction and her reaction to his dream job?
Yeah, as soon as he said, you know, I have a podcast and like that look she gave him, that little smirk, I just hated it all. Call me biased, but I was just like, nah, she ain't no good. But it was funny because when he was talking about his dreams, she was like mocking him a little bit, like making fun of him, like because he mentioned his podcast and they was like, what do you talk about on there? And then she sort of was just like she said something like, you're a Jew from LA, like West LA or something, like, what do you know about the culture? I was just like, I mean, but you don't say that to his face. Like, you're trying to be supportive, you're trying to make a good impression. So
no, sometimes I mean, but in some instances you have to go. Some instances you have to challenge people just to see what they're gonna say or how they're gonna respond within that. And if it's somebody I want to date or I'm interested in, yeah, you gotta make sure they get uncomfortable. Or how, you see how they deal.
We see how Jason roll.
Hey, I told you, you know, within the first 1 or 2 questions, hey, I might actually ain't no telling what one of those 2 questions may be.
So now that we're here, since we're here in my Jason voice, what are the 2 key questions that y'all would ask on a first date?
Chris, I'm gonna let you ask that question
So
answer that
you
question
throw it out
first.
and then come back to
Yeah, I'm
me.
getting. Oh, yeah, I'm handling some business on my side. I'm handling some business on my side.
Oh, okay, that's convenient. It's like when somebody else said they got a meeting in the middle of a certain conversation.
Sounds like you're living in the past.
Yeah, I know, that's crazy. My bad. Of course, for me lately, I'm be like, yo, who'd you vote for? Because I just feel like at that point, you get that out the way. There's nothing else we got to say, to be honest with you. Y'all can put the pieces together. But after that, like pretty much what makes you happy, like things that you like to do, things you enjoy, just to see, you know, a little bit of your outlook on life. I ain't gonna ask it straight up, but you sort of just get a gist of that from there. But it probably those two. I know the go-to is just like, oh, what do you do? I'm just like, I make money. That's all that matters.
That's a solid question though, because
it is
actually, never mind. Jason,
well, yeah.
Jason, you. Oh, okay. So he's still handling business. I'll say, because how I am, I'm very sarcastic. So I'd probably be like, "What is your favorite genre of film?" It tells me everything I need to know. I'm not going to say what it tells me, but it tells me something.
Oh.
And then I think the other one needs to be something serious, I guess.
I want to know like what genres jazz like immediately crosses on. Someone tells her.
If they, yeah. I'm a suspense, Chris. Suspense.
Gotcha.
I think my other one is, damn, I don't know. Let me think about my other one. Jason, are you ready to give your two?
Yes. You said, well, Chris, you said, well, your question, what makes you happy?
It's sort of along the lines of that. Like, what makes you happy? Okay. Like, you know, try to get about. It's deeper than just that question. Like,
I understand. I mean, that's a broad question. You said, what was yours, Jazz?
So
trying to measure up.
I'm trying to make sure I don't repeat it. I'm trying to make sure I don't repeat it. One of them, I know I'm not repeating somebody. But they got to be my second question.
One of mine is going to be, what is your favorite genre of film? And then I think my second one was going to be, if you could travel anywhere in the world, where would you go?
That sounds like a Jazz question. I guess so. Mine is, are you into music? Of course, that's a given. And is fellatio for you or me? That's definitely my second question.
On the first date?
Yes, Chris. I gotta make sure because we gotta understand I gotta understand we actually going somewhere. Because if if you answer that wrong, it's like, okay, well, I see what it's going. So I already know how to handle the rest of the date at that point. So we got to get that out on top.
It's a method to the madness. Okay.
If anybody comments and says like, Jason does not say that, man. But
y'all don't know Jason because he would definitely say that. Jason would definitely say that.
On the first date as the second question?
Why not?
All right.
I'll be telling you, hey, look, Jason never lied to you. Not y'all. Lied to a lot of people, but not y'all too.
All right. So as we can see on this date, Ezra is not feeling sis. Mm-hmm. And so we go into the conversation between him and Mo. The Drake comparison, dropping Drake albums. How did y'all feel about this scene? And do you think it lasted a minute too long?
So y'all remember when we reviewed Doctor Strange long time ago, and they had their little ice cream song with the kids?
Oh yeah. Wow.
I felt the same way here. I was just like, okay, like it almost felt like filler. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, we get it. We get what you're trying to say. Like, let's keep pushing it. So it got corny after a while. I was like, whatever.
I mean, you know, I'm assuming, you know, with King, he was looking for every interracial child to use as a metaphor or to play on to make a situation or make a scene seem very relevant. I enjoyed it though, because it makes sense as far as the different phases of Drake. And if somebody that come back and they do something differently in music, I feel like Drake is that personally. So, and I know Chris hating they couldn't use a J. Cole bar there.
So you said it, not me. I'm just chilling. I wasn't even thinking that.
I understand.
So let me ask y'all this: what Drake album are y'all?
Today, Her Loss.
I think right now, Take Care. Like nothing but hits. Straight through. I'm a classic.
Yeah.
How about that? I want to know why Jason is hair lost though, because that.
I'm not gonna lie, the fact that y'all answered so quickly.
Jazz like, wait, what is Drake albums again? She be putting stuff on shuffle, so she don't know.
Yes,
Yeah.
live and just
She
listen by
listen
that.
to a playlist and shuffle it. She don't know what the album is no more.
And for anybody that tries to send me a playlist, just know it's going to be shuffle. I am not putting a random playlist. No. And this is to y'all because y'all have both sent me playlists. I'm sorry, but y'all know I live a shuffle life.
The disrespect
shuffle
and,
life.
everything I do, it has a method to it. Especially a playlist. Like any
Bruh.
playlist I give, it's a method, and it can be 60, 70 songs deep. And I mean, every song tells a story with the next song. But that's how I do it. But that's just
you got to sequence it. You got to listen to it. Be like, oh wait, you think of a song, try to add it in here. Like Jazz just be like, nah. So
Chaos.
yeah.
But in the next scene, we are introduced to Lauren London's character, Amira.
Mm-hmm.
This scene was kind of wild to me because she seemed like she was just out minding her business, putting stuff in her car, and her ex pop up. Unexpected, out of nowhere, sir. And she changed her number. So you shouldn't have even known I was home. I'm not gonna guess his zodiac, but I will say that's not Aquarius behavior, Jason. So I'm not gonna throw no shade at you.
Thank you, because I'm tired. I'm tired of the shade that Aquarians get. We've done nothing.
That boy jumped straight to the defensive, boy. He was like, hold up. Nah.
This is definitely not Aquarius behavior because they hover, but from like distances. But it was funny
Floaters,
because so it's funny because her ex name is Chris, and Chris was like, "Did you block me?" And so Amir responded, "I don't do that weird shit." I felt attacked because sis, blocking people is not weird. It needs to happen sometimes. I'm not gonna change my number just so you can stop hitting me up. I'm going to block you.
I only block randoms. I don't block people personally. That's just a personal thing.
So you mean like folks that you don't know calling you like spam callers?
Yeah, like spam. I block them, but like people I know, like if I knew who they were, at some point I don't block them.
Chris, you be blocking people?
I've gotten into I've learned the art of blocking and the benefits.
Yeah, just leave me alone. It has to be done.
People be watching low key. Like it's just so I don't like the eyes on me.
All right, Tupac. But and so Chris was just trying to drop a James Baldwin line on her, and she's just listening. She just like, go ahead and let him get this out. And she took it. She took his phone to put her new number in there, but she was just like, I'm not about to do that. She went through his texts, and he was texting her father. Which, what kind of shit is that? I would be sick if my dad out here texting my ex. I'm like, sir, nah. Block.
They have a book club, Jess.
Nah. Chris was a little clingy. He was doing the absolute most, but she was just like, I'm out of here. And then he had a nickname for her. She was like, stop calling me that. So it just
what do you call her?
Was it?
No.
I don't know what it was. It was weird. But
it should have been Nunu.
I felt like it was a play on Nunu. That's why I was like, I feel like it was like some kind of joke onto that or something. But
that would have been funny. That seemed like something Kenya probably is mad he didn't catch.
You're welcome. Don't edit it in later, Kenya. Whatever your name is.
But then the next scene, we go to Ezra's job. And obviously it's looking like Ezra hates his job. He's just not feeling it. So I did not like, what's my man's name?
His
Ezra,
boss?
but what's his real name? No.
Oh,
Jonah Hill.
I didn't like Jonah Hill's hair in this movie at all. It bothered me and it reminded me of Oodles and Noodles. But I just wanted to say that before I forgot. But anyway, and it was just slick back. It just looked like it was stinking.
It's funny because I think this scene, like his back of his head was showing a couple times, so that's probably why she thought about it.
Because this scene was just so stupid to me. It was just, obviously he hates his job. He's just sitting there, which is weird because he didn't seem like he was doing any work. And your desk is right in front of your boss's office. at least fake pretend like you working, but
no, we're not faking nothing. It takes so much to fake it work. It takes more work to fake work than to actually work.
It depends on the type of job. Because you got an office job, it's easy.
Man.
Boy, you do that clickety clack on the keyboard without clicking anything. Not that I would know, but I heard about it.
Nah, I'm cool on all that. That's too much energy to be faking. So I can be typing for real. Nah, we ain't wasting no energy. I ain't gotta waste.
So you be doing work.
I don't be slaving, but I definitely work.
All right.
Good job, Jason.
Does your boss dap you up like Ezra boss? Do y'all have interactions like that?
I would make it super awkward if it was me. I would make it very awkward if it was me.
I just thought that scene was too long. Like it just seemed overextended. I was just like, all right, y'all don't need to drag this out.
Yeah, second. I agree. It was the second scene for me. I was just like, okay, I get it. It's just almost like somebody telling you a joke and then they try to add on to the joke because you didn't laugh the way they wanted you to the first time. And then once you add on, you'd be like, oh, and then they'd be like, no, I want you to crack up. So here's another part of the joke. Like, like
I'm imagining Chris and Jazz watching this movie. They looking like this background and Jazz has of Eddie Murphy and Nia Long the entire
That's
time.
why I picked it. That's exactly why I picked it. That's how I looked the first time I watched it and the second time. But we're not gonna get there yet.
Oh no,
we're here.
I'm gonna ease in a little bit because
we're here. I don't know why y'all easing.
Since we're here, I had to watch the first half of the movie. Then I had to restart because somebody else wanted to watch and didn't watch it full through again. So I had to, So
it's a whole bunch of watches.
We're the reason why they're number 3 on Netflix. Damn it!
They were number 2 when I was watching.
Well, I won't be watching after this one. So, then we get a scene of Amira. She's driving. She's obviously lost because fake Siri got her going in circles. And she pulls up to like a parking area where an office building is. And she's trying to figure stuff out. Her phone is just like, you turn, right, left. She's like, bitch, I can't do all of that. Like it's glitching out. She obviously doesn't have a iPhone. And then we see Ezra coming out and he's looking for an Uber. He jumps in her car, which first off, that's kind of unsafe. You need to make sure that is the right vehicle. Uber says, check the license or the license plate, but
I mean, technically he did check.
He checked the driver, not the license plate.
Uber he checked the car too. He checked the car. He checked the driver.
But Jazz said the license plate.
The license.
I say. I mean, you're right. He didn't check the license plate. You're right.
Because if you go to New York, all them cars look the same. That's in the when you get picked up from the airport. I checked that license plate. I don't even care if the driver look like. Nope. Let me make sure you ain't snatching me up. But what was you about to say, Jason?
I'm gonna say, yeah. I'm thinking like, do I go behind the car and go check the license plate when I'm finna get into it? They typically they jump out, and I'm like, yeah, that's him, or that's her.
Somebody gonna snatch your ass up.
Yeah, I got in Philly. I feel like I got bamboozled. Like,
where was you at?
In Philly. It was like the Uber was taking forever. He just pulled up. He was like, I can take you. I was like, can I? I said, how can I get you as a driver? Show me how you do that. He was like, oh, no, don't worry about that. Don't worry about this. Just get in the car. I'm like, oh, okay. I got in the car. I'm just like, as many scary movies and stuff. I'm just out here just living
Jason
wild.
Said nothing can happen in Philly. This wouldn't happen to me in Philly.
Man.
But I thought this scene was funny because it ended up it was a couple of internet like meme sort of type things in the movie, and this was one of them because I don't know if y'all remember the picture of the actual woman on the Uber app. That was a lookalike picture that was actually in real life of Lauren London, and people were saying she looked so much like Lauren London. And I don't know if that was the same, but it seemed like they used the same picture when he actually got in the car.
So a lot of them on my rewatch. I noticed a lot of those like memes and stuff. It's like background stuff that was going on.
Yeah,
that's dope. Could y'all please be sure to mention that because on my rewatch I didn't catch shit. But
I mean, you know,
I mean, there's a couple of them coming up real. Next scene probably.
Yeah, but so Ezra gets in Amira's car. She's just like screaming, panicking. I'm not gonna sit there. I'm taking my seatbelt off and I'm getting out. If somebody just jump in my car, she handled it real calmly. And she's just like, this seems you on some racist. You just came into my car thinking that you could just come in here and see she said it like I don't want to say a low costing vehicle.
Something like that.
Yeah, it was along those lines. And I was just like, I didn't understand like her saying this seems like racism. Did y'all catch how that scenario could seem like racism of him getting into her car because she's a black driver? Because I was just like, what?
I just look at it like, I mean, to an extent, I feel like it was just a thing of I'm a person of status. This is a person that's doing service work, and I can just hop into this car because I'm assuming that's the only mind frame I went into it. But you know, that's it. I truly don't know as far as when it comes to it. They were doing a lot of reaching as far as what racism is and prejudices are and things of that nature. But yeah,
I'm glad you said it because I didn't see it. No racist at all. But
yeah, I made sure to make a note. I was just like, I don't understand. But a lot of their arguments seemed centered around that when it didn't seem like it applied too much. But we'll get there. But she finally calms down and she realizes that his Uber driver definitely looked like her. I hope he canceled that ride so sis didn't come over there. But he probably didn't. So I guess they have a good ride. He was able to take her where she needed to be or guide her, and she was able to drop him off where he needed to go. Mm-hmm. I will say within this movie, the visuals and the music was fire. It was amazing. It was just, it was dope. Like, I think they did an amazing job how they incorporated everything.
Yeah, I like that. And I really, when Nip came on, I was just like, okay, then I started singing along to the song. And then one of the billboards, Tupac was on there. So I like that. You know, it's funny because Jazz mentioned it earlier. So I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I really like that part. I agree with that, Jazz.
What was you gonna say, Jason?
He had something funny to say.
got some Queen and Slim vibe. It sounds like nice visually, nice music.
Don't do that. It's a lot of work out there that have those two things.
These two in particular.
Yeah.
When we get to 50 episodes, I want to do Queen and Slim.
Why?
To celebrate, just for Jason. I want to see what Jason got to say.
Jason is going to kill the movie the entire time. He's going to complain about every scene, but it could be funny. Actually, I'm here for
Jazz
it.
coming around. Let's go.
I was like, oh, that might be good. We'll have to see. We will have to see.
Maybe ask the people.
Ask the people.
Yeah. I'll rig the votes, but let's ask the people.
So many people gonna be like, why would you review that shit? Just for jokes, because we know Jason loves it so much. So obviously, when we get to our next scene, the Amira's ride with Ezra turned out good because she's talking to an individual at I guess it seems like a fruit juice spot. We've come to find out this is her brother
Omar Taco.
Okay.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Taco Future, yeah. Tyler, the Creator, Frank Ocean, all them, he was in there. Yeah. I was happy when I seen him, actually.
Yeah, it's like seeing him.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Omar and Amir was talking and she was telling him about she has a date with Ezra. He's like, what kind of name is that? It's funny because I went to school with a dude named Ezra. He was black though, but he was kind of cute. He had a hint of likeness in his face. But she tells Omar that Ezra is white. And Omar seemed like he reacted how any friend would react if you told him like, so I'm going out with this person, that's another race. How would y'all have reacted if one of y'all siblings or best friends was just like, Jason, fix your face. People listening can't see your face, Jason.
If my dad was Eddie Murphy in this movie, then yeah, I would have reacted the same way because I'm just like, this ain't no way you think it's gonna fly. But man, I had friends that they date outside the race. I'm like, all right, have fun.
It's just the excitement when he was just like, he looked around, he was like, nigga.
That's me. Like that was my first thing. Can she cook? That's my first question. If you
with seasoning.
That is a valid question.
Because I'm gonna ask all the questions. Then I'm gonna ask like, is she like Kim Kardashian white, or is she just like, um, you know, like just regular white?
Oh, spicy mayo or just
Yeah,
plain
like she,
the
because
plain
like,
mayo.
because I always said like, if I was to date outside of my race, like she got to be like, she can't be like the kind of trying to cosplay black people. Like I don't want that. She needs to be you know Rachel,
See,
Sarah. She needs to be that.
Elizabeth,
She can't be.
Jennifer. No,
She
I
can't
get
be
it.
at the house rap. She can't be at the house rapping no bars harder than. No, we ain't doing that. Put me onto some of that. There's some of that loose dancing y'all be doing. Don't put Taylor Swift need to be your favorite artist. No, Lil Wayne can't be up there.
What if she come in the house and she rapping J. Cole?
I'm gonna have a problem with it. I'm gonna have a problem with it. I don't care if he's biracial.
Yeah, I
It's
would
better
too,
than
low key, because J. Cole be dropping mad inbox in his songs. I'd be like, whoa.
bro. Yeah, exactly. No,
You got to
this
be
is
like,
not.
like you sing it in the car, like by yourself, like you're not skipping the word. So it's just stuff like that. I get it, Jason. I get it.
But then in this scene, we are introduced to Akbar. You already know what kind of person the hoodie, like,
Yeah.
which was dope. How did y'all feel? Because I don't remember the last thing I seen Eddie Murphy in since Coming to America 2. So how did y'all feel? Nobody can see your facial expressions, Jason.
That's the
Oh,
point.
I forgot him.
Look,
Like I forgot
you
him.
have
I
to
Like
hated
you
that movie.
you have to understand here, Jazz. This is for two different type of viewers. There's a viewer and there's a listener. If you want all the full effect, you gotta watch the YouTube, baby. Because I'm giving it with these faces. But yes, I didn't watch Coming to America. I didn't watch Coming to America too. But I
wait,
did
wait, wait,
watch.
wait, 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 wait. Talk about. You've never
I did
seen the
watch.
movie?
I seen Coming to America. Take
Oh,
that
I was
back.
about to say.
I seen Coming to America. The last movie I seen Eddie Murphy in was the he was like the porn star. No, he wasn't a porn star. He was a singer from
Dolomite.
Arkansas. Yeah, something like
Yeah.
Dolomite. Something, yeah, that movie. Yeah. That's the last movie I seen him in.
Oh, okay.
That's when he first came back. Then they did the Coming to America too.
Right. Okay. He looked good. Eddie
He
looked good. I'm
does.
not gonna lie. Like Eddie
He
and
been in
him,
his 60s. They look him to be in his 60s. Yeah, he looks good.
right? With 11 kids, 11 or 12, he looked real good. He got a couple. Uh,
He
definitely
got
two
quite a few.
basketball teams.
He got quite a few. He got quite a few. He
Jazz
can
said a
afford it
couple. I
though.
was like, wait, a couple of basketball teams.
Right.
Jesus.
But so, what did y'all think about his character and the things that he was bringing up as they were at this this
Juice bar.
juice bar?
Um, I don't know. I like that. It was funny because he definitely right. He was like in a few more years, everybody gonna look like Bruno Mars, and he about right. Like because people say agenda. I'm not gonna say it's an agenda, but that's you see it more often. It's a more common, I guess now than anything. And it was the conversation he had about why is it better for white people to shop or purchase within black communities or black neighborhoods, and then like Omar was like, that's helping patronize our freedom. That's patronizing our freedom. Them being able to come over and shop with us, and he was just like, nah, we can shop within our own. We can make sure we can feel and feed our own ecosystem to that's what he was saying, basically trying to say within that conversation. So he was having some, some conversations, I guess, within that.
Right. Basically saying keep our money within our community so our community can flourish. Because the black dollar is damn sure a good dollar. But
Around the world. I thought it was funny because he said he the darkest person in there. And then like a couple of scenes later, like behind tacos, like a mad dark skinned dude. It's just like the extras. He was in post. He was edited in post.
So before, I mean, so what did y'all think about, I feel say Taco. So Taco and Lauren London being his children rather.
Oh, because yeah.
Because
Oh
they're
yeah,
not
you're right. That's kind of
because I mean you look at certain things, and I never really paid attention to that. Like they were like, why is you got the dark dad, light skinned child, light skinned wife. It's always that way, and then you have the children. They all the shade of the mama more than likely. So within this, how did y'all feel about the casting of the children with Eddie Murphy being their father?
I think they made a point to mention later in the movie
Mhm.
when Akbar was talking to Nia Long's character. I don't remember her name. He was just like, "This your white granddaddy's fault." So you see the closeness down the bloodline where it was a white family member in the genetics. So that could possibly be it, because when I was thinking about the casting, I was just like, wait, both y'all parents chocolate. So I'm like, it had to be something earlier in generations to produce the light skinnedness in this. But casting was fine to me. What you think, Chris?
I legit thought the same thing. That conversation behind you when they was at the who was that, Chicken and Waffles, I think. And
Yeah,
he was
Roscoe.
like, yeah, they was at Roscoe's. He was like, "This your white granddaddy." That's what I thought. I was like, "Oh, there it is."
Yeah, but also in this scene, and I didn't think too much of it during my first watch, but then when I was on my rewatch, I was just like, okay, there's some of the pieces are starting to come together, because when Akbar was talking about when him and their mom fell in love, their whole love story that, you know, prayed with each other and all of that. And then Omar is like, wait, didn't you meet mom at Pet Boys? Because you was returning like a half bottle or something. And then like Akbar was like, shut your ass up. Like, this, we met this way through like love, religion, all of that. He's just like, so I just made that story up. And so once you get more background on Akbar, then you start to put connect the dots. You like, okay, we see.
But you know how, but a lot of times parents they embellish. If you really talk to your parents, let me speak for mine. Hi, but they definitely embellish. Definitely embellish the story. They make it seem like it wasn't what it was. You know what I'm saying? Or they'll try to make when they did it a better time, or it was different, or it made more sense for them to do the fuckery in their scenario. And it's just like, no, you was just a pissant kid on some bull crap, running your mama and daddy crazy in that situation. So miss me with all that. But it was a different time. Whatever. It wasn't. Whatever.
I legit had somebody tell me, y'all need to get y'all story like straight, like how you do it. And I don't know if it's like trying to embellish it, but I'm just like, so you can tell your kids like nah. So I believe that. It's kind of funny.
That is funny. But so since we had like Amira somewhat talking to Omar about her date, then we get the next scene of Ezra talking to Mo about the date. Mm-hmm. Mo was like, wait, you got a black girl? And he's just like, yeah. He just seemed like, I guess, not thinking it's a big deal. And then Mo was just talking about the state of the country and everything that's going on. Mo seemed more like aware and more like, yo, you need to be on alert than Ezra. That's like, when I saw it, I was just like, why Mo so amped up about this? But she know about more what was going on. I mean, Jason, did you not, like, when you saw this scene?
Yeah, Mo was like, why would you do that? Yeah, nah, that was nah. He said, you gonna pull a move like that? And he was like, you know, he basically was just, you know, Ezra was just saying it's not like basically, you know, because later Lauren, she kind of says it to his mom, but it wasn't like, I'm just looking for this toy. I'm not like looking for this. I'm just looking for this thing, and I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna make it, put it out here like this. This is just a person that I connected with. It's somebody I liked, and now we're just gonna see how this work. It's not a tie-dye suit or nothing like that. You know what I mean?
Don't tell me you got a tie-dye suit. And then it goes to their date. So
wait, man, hold on, wait. So the outfits in this movie were for, like, to me, I like the outfits that they were wearing.
You rock that tie-dye hoodie?
I would. I definitely rock a tie-dye hoodie with the shorts.
The shorts was I would need, maybe not.
And the shoes, the matching shoes that they had, the John the Witherspoon, I think it's Witherspoon is how you say it. I love them shoes. I refuse to pay the resale price, but I really love them shoes.
Can we go back to you talking about you gonna wear this damn tie-dye outfit?
I would.
Are you serious? Chris, you throwing that on for a barbecue?
That's not his personality.
Chris might see it and be like, oh no, I can make that rock.
if Chris was to wear it, I would, I could see J. Cole wearing it.
So that means Chris definitely see himself wearing it.
Chris not that fan.
Oh, so he fake.
Wait.
This is crazy. How we get him J. Cole? It's like the third name drop.
I'm just saying his hoodies that he be wearing, he just have on a crazy hoodie with like whatever design, colors and whatnot, and some crazy tennis shoe. That's just how he dressed. That's why I felt like he would like shorts. I don't think he would have worn, but the hoodie, I definitely see him wearing that.
Okay. What did y'all think about this date?
I hated what he said. Because they were talking about the flip flops, the Gucci flip flops she had on, and he was like, "I don't care about your flip flops. You can do whatever." And she was like, that was real." And I was just like, "Nah."
Like Jason said, it wasn't that deep.
It wasn't that deep. It wasn't that deep at all.
That sound like, hey, Jason.
No, I'm not gonna lie. When he dropped that, I was like, sis, no, wait. There's no way that one line got you like, oh, this is it. We about to be here for hours.
Chris was so fake. I guess the other Chris was so fake. She heard something real. She was like, "Oh, I got him." Yes.
Yeah. They both was just looking for somebody to get them, to understand them. So
I thought this, whatever y'all think, but it was fun.
Oh no, it wasn't that deep, but I just played, devil's advocate. But nah,
it was like with this scene, you can see how they had them in that same spot drinking mimosas, because you got to have mimosas on the first date. You got to have mimosas on the first date. And so you could see Tom passing, because at the beginning, he was moving his foot so much because they zoomed in on his foot under the table. And so it's just like he was nervous. And then as time went on, they zoomed back in. We, for some reason, kept seeing their feet. But his foot wasn't shaking no more. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, okay, he's gotten more comfortable, probably because they got more drinks in them. Mimosas do that. So if y'all need to get mimosas, but they fire.
That was a good catch, Jazz. I ain't even peeped that.
Yeah, I definitely saw it on my rewatch. I was just like, oh, okay. And then you had the montage of them on their different dates. I thought this was cute. Then, Chris, you were about to say something?
No, I was saying I agree. It was.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it actually kind of reminded me of Intergalactic, which we will be reviewing later this month, but that's a whole lot better. So, but so I thought this montage with them was cute, and they under the blanket, and she was just like, "Oh, I've never done this before, laying under the blankets." And before, as they were going to,
go ahead, Jason. Go ahead, say it. Because look, enough is enough at a certain point.
All right. So how many times have y'all lied about the first time with somebody?
What? Wait. What?
How many times have you lied to somebody about this being your first time doing something?
Never.
Oh no, I never.
You don't. You never.
Jason said, "I'm a pro." I've gone the same place with two different people.
I've never been here before. Like what?
No, that's where you gotta hit him. Like, oh, I think that looked pretty good. Like that looked like it'd be good. Whole time you had it like 6 times. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, see, y'all. Wow, I've never done that before. Dang.
It was within a week.
You be telling them, Jazz? I'm like, yeah, man.
Jazz don't be lying.
Me and old boy came through here one time. It's cool.
So that's providing too much details. What you doing is wild.
Jazz was like, yo, I had a date here 2 weeks ago. No, that's crazy.
Changed up the menu. It was different.
Y'all gotta relax. Like now.
Man.
I heard this spot was nice. Or I've been here before. If I'm ever asked who I came with, I'm just be like, you asking questions you don't need to know the answer to.
Well, you can just say a friend, even though that kind of like they may piece that together. But
I mean, but also you get. I mean, a friend could be anybody.
It could.
But if they paranoid, like which friend? Damn, nigga.
Yeah, at that point you just like, all right, calm
down. Clearly, this isn't working for me.
Yo, Jason, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. Yo, where's Cisco? Gone forever, player. But So she was just like, Amir was like, yo, turn some vibes on, like get some music together. And it was funny because it reminded me of both of y'all, because I was just like, I could see both of y'all, somebody's like, yo, turn this song on, get the vibes. And regardless of what the vibes are, it's like, oh, I got something on hand. Because me, if somebody's like, Jazz, turn the vibes on, I'm like, oh shit. So early 2000s.
Jazz go hit the group chat right quick, like, yo, I need a song.
No, Chris, I'm out of here. Like, I'm like, I don't know, new stuff. Early 2000s, I got you. Let me see what playlist Jason sent me recently.
Right.
Shuffle.
And the first thing gonna come on, some killing, shoot them up, bang them up. Like, hold up, you could have just played this.
Yeah, Jason playlists be wild. You could go from like 2 smooth songs in a row, and then it'd be like Glorilla or something crazy. No. Like, somebody talk about like scamming me or like niggas ain't. Yeah, I'm like, dang.
He's sitting there like sad, like, yeah, to survive. Dude, fuck that nigga. Damn, what the hell? My mood didn't want to change that fast.
Life comes at you fast. You got to be prepared for all of these situations.
Yeah, you got to check the next song with Jason playlist.
But so the couple is in the bed and they have some sweet lovins. They wake up the next morning brushing their teeth. I was like, all right. So let me ask y'all this, because there were a few scenes, actually probably all the scenes with Lauren and
Jonah.
How did y'all feel about their chemistry? Because it doesn't seem like they had any type of chemistry at all. Like it was like, yeah, nah.
So I'll say this. I thought about that, but then I tried to think outside of like just how they look. And because looking at him, you wouldn't. That's the premise of the movie. So like looking at him, you wouldn't think they would be together. But then just seeing their chemistry and stuff, no, it wasn't rocking. It wasn't. I had to try to spice it up. No, I wasn't.
I'm sitting here and I'm just like, if Chris say he saw chemistry, I'm be like, bullshit. Chris slowly brought it in, was like,
okay, Natasha.
Jay,
you see me, Jay? Okay, Natasha, I see you.
I don't get it. Damn.
Poker face.
I was gonna say it might be Poker Face, because that's her lady name.
She calls bullshit every time they get ready to say something. You be like, oh, I feel him. No, it's a lie. I lied.
Yeah, I ain't really feel the chemistry that much.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if it's her still trying to get acclimated with everything, because I feel like she's still in grieving.
She had more chemistry with Michael B. Jordan in that movie that she was in with him a few years ago that dropped.
Which they need to bring in. Where is part 2? Where is it? Without Remorse?
It was on. I think it was a Hulu film. With Michael
it's
B.
No, Amazon. But that's like the Tom Clancy, like Rainbow Six.
Oh, okay, got it.
So you should check. You should peep that. That was.
I think I saw the trailer. I just didn't know she was in it.
Yeah. Barely, but
or maybe the preview, whatever. Oh, she must have died. I can tell by the way Jazz looked. Oh wait.
Chris Brown stumped a yard type shit. You know what I mean?
Dang, that's crazy.
But even in that short time she was in that film, it was a lot more chemistry there. But then again, if my co-star looked like Michael B, I get it. So I understand. But I was just curious what y'all thought, because I was just like, the chemistry didn't seem like it was there. So it just
I like them together, but they didn't have chemistry, if that makes sense.
No.
So I like them as a couple on, like, from the story perspective. Like how the story.
Would it be like Shelby and Julian type thing?
No.
Nah, it was better.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. But no, that was cool. They didn't have chemistry, but I think it was cute, especially when they was walking there. I think they had matching shoes at one point. They had the
shoes I want.
Some match, yeah.
What about the Issa rom-com with her chemistry with
the dude from Eternals?
Jabron?
Yes, Jabron. How was their chemistry compared to this? Not the movie, but the chemistry.
I think their chemistry was maybe. Well, it's been a while since I've seen that movie, but I know I didn't like it. So I can't give it accurate. Because
I don't know. I mean, because I feel like Issa is just Issa. So she's like kind of like awkward to a certain extent. Because I mean, shit. What did you think about Issa and Lakeith chemistry in that movie. I don't. I feel like
I liked it a lot better than this shit.
Issa, that
I
was a
feel
good
like
movie.
I feel like the parents
It
had
was.
better. The parents had a way better chemistry than Issa and Lakeith did.
I mean, but it was Daniel.
Of course.
Chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
But
I was trying to warn you to tread lightly when you was talking about Issa. You know, Jazz.
I wasn't no shade. It wasn't no shade.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, it's just, Issa just, I feel like she that awkward black girl. That's just who she play. I feel like that's kind of who she plays in movies. So it's just like, it's just that more so, and it's not like, the Keith. I don't know. When he was in there, it just, I don't know. But like you said, her parent, their relationship, it was like that was the one I would like a movie about just them personally.
I would just like a movie of him.
That's funny.
Right. So they're in the bathroom and Amir is just like, look, I don't just be sleeping with anybody, so we're together. And then he was like, oh, I was gonna tell you, you my boo. Bruh. I was just like, and then when he hugged her from like on the shoulders, not even a hand around the waist, like you ain't gonna smack on the ass or nothing, but I was just like,
yeah. It wasn't really.
Yeah,
I get it.
It was like, man, I don't know. But you could definitely see it as like a viewer. But then we have a time jump. This is our first one from this movie, and we are 6 months later. Nobody met nobody parents yet.
Yeah, that threw me a little bit too, because I'm just like, okay, but
Jason, 6 months.
I only say that because of like the meeting the parents thing, to each his own. I only said that because of what happens after. I'm just like, okay,
right?
Yeah, like you haven't met the parents, and you think, but go ahead,
Jason. You think Jason probably thinking, look, a year.
Jason,
we're moving too fast. We're moving too fast.
Jason's like, never.
Like what I need to meet them for.
What? They not that cool. You good?
That's great.
You don't think 6 months? You think that's too short?
I mean, I think at least 10 years so we can even talk about engagement. Like he told me did.
Did you say 10 years?
They say at least a decade.
at least 10. We gotta see. We gotta see where we at in 10 years.
They say you're supposed to see people in all their seasons. So Jason trying to, each year is different weather.
I like that. That's dope. See, if you would have said, I'd have been like, okay, wait a year. All right, so Ezra and Amira goes to Ezra's parents' house. Every scene before this on my rewatch was not as cringy, but this scene was so cringy to me. And I was just sitting here like, in 2023, are you fucking serious? Like, it was just, but anyway, Ezra told her, he was just like, my parents are crazy. Amir she didn't even think it was going to be to the level that it was. And it seemed like when his Shelly is the mother, she opened the door, she was like, oh, you're so beautiful. And it just seemed like it was like a good introduction. And then Shelly just jumped off the cliff, all the way off the cliff. And she was just doing too much. I thought it was funny that his father was Mulder from X-Files.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I knew he looked familiar. I didn't know X-Files.
Yeah, and he had another show on, I think, Showtime, but I can't think of what it was. But shout out to, his name is David Duchovny. I hope he's not anybody's link of friends.
I was going to say. It ain't
I hope it was Jason's.
Look at Jason trying to have a poker face. That was definitely like a throw.
He watched that before we even got on this, so he was just trying to keep it together. Like, damn it, she said by Luke of Thrones. But like, was this scene cringy to y'all? How she was just like saying certain comments, and Ezra was trying to calm her down a little bit, but it just kept getting worse. And I was just like, for Shelly's character, she's like, oh, I'm hip. She's lying about being a designer for her friends, because Ezra's like, I don't know what the hell you talking about. And of course the dad is gonna say, oh yeah, he's gonna like back her with the stuff that stuff Shelly is saying. And Ezra's just like, you never told me you do this. And Amir is just like, oh, okay. Like, how did y'all feel about this scene. And then when Ezra's sister came down, who we find out is a part of the LBGQ community, because when don't try to think. Look,
Jason, come out this.
right, he's just thinking like, did she say all the letters? But when she came down, her reaction. Hey, so when she came down and
correct that, Jay.
I'll throw the edit in later. But her reaction to seeing Amir, and then Shelly's just like, "Whoa, slow down." She's spoken for. I was just like, "Damn, mom!" Like, so
no, she was on point. She was definitely like, "Hey, oh, hey."
She said, "Hey." And then she went, "Oh wait." Yeah, I get it.
Like, what was y'all first impression of Shelly?
Well,
I would say second, because we did see her in the first part of the movie, but just to see her interaction and her reaction to meeting Amir.
You're doing too much. Like, just be yourself, because she was trying to relate, and then the dad said something about Pimp My Ride or something like that. I'm like, bro,
Exhibit. Does he still have his braids? Nigga, I don't have his number. Like,
anybody seen Exhibit in like 30 years? Nah. It was just like, y'all doing too much. Like, just be cool. You could tell she probably used to it, but Lauren London was just kind of like, okay, like, this is awkward, but that's his parents, so I can't really say nothing. But
right,
it was just cringy. Was a funny. I think the funniest part was oh, well, we haven't gotten there yet, but one of the funniest parts was the daughter coming down, and she was just like, "Hey," I laughed at that, or chuckled, I guess.
Yeah, she was like, she wanted some, she likes her glasses. She was like, yeah, they what's it, like, recycled cans? So I can make you some. You can have mine, like, they prescription, but I can take these out.
She was laying it on. She was just like,
but the same for me, I don't know if it was. I mean, I can't necessarily say it was cringy. But we're dealing with one of those interracial dating, so it's movies. And like I said, this is something I definitely wouldn't, I guess, personally want to go through or feel like, because it's the whole thing of trying to understand or relate to, and it's like, I'm cool with that. I don't need you to relate to anything that's within it. Just be you. We can just have a regular conversation. You trying to relate to, like, where you from, and Magic Johnson, he's so tall. I met him. He was doing it. Like, I don't care about Magic Johnson like that, man. He's a famous basketball player that has nothing to do with me in my life at all.
Yeah, it was just like, just get to know me for me, and then we find out later in the movie, Amir is like, her feelings about her interactions with Shelly, and so Shelly was just, all right, so I gotta let the room know, and I'm talking to everybody. Cops are so hard on Black people. And then Ezra was like, shit, all right, so mom, let's go to the kitchen. Like, you've gone too far. He's like, let's go to the kitchen. I need to help you with something. Shelly's like, you don't never help me. Like, what you mean? Like, she just didn't get the hint. She didn't read the room. She wasn't observant at all. It's just like, take your blinders off and actually read the entire room. Who comes out of nowhere talking about, well, maybe some people, I don't know, but it was just like, if Amir wasn't even there, sis, would you have brought up the police around your family? Probably not. Like, she's just trying to relate so much, and Ezra was just like, I need to get her out of here. And then that's when that's when he told her that he had planned on proposing to her. She got so excited. She said, "Ooh, yes, had me some Black babies." And I'm like, it just reminded me of the ignorant conversations we see on Twitter like all the time. Because it's just like the mixed babies, the hair, and all this other stuff. And he's just like, but I just want you to know that I love her for her. It's not that, oh, I'm married, I want to propose to just a Black woman. It's just like, he sees her more than that. But Shelly obviously doesn't, because Shelly's on a short bus with a helmet at the front of the bus. And so, yes. So,
landing on heavy. But excuse me. When I was looking at this, I mean, I feel like all parents to a certain extent. So now, because this one is talking more so about race, it's a little bit different conversation. But I feel like all parents, well, at least I have dealt with parents that they come off kind of harsh in situations when it comes to dating. Or they may say something. You be like, hold on, hold on, we need a timeout. We need to go talk about this again because what the hell was that? What are you doing? Because like with her, because she said something that I felt like it was real. She was like, he said, so you cool with me engaging? Like, yeah, I mean, let's just be real. That's not what because like I said, I mentioned it in
At the
the best
beginning,
man
yeah.
and the best man episode. We people have expectations for our kids. So she expected her son to marry somebody that was going to be Jewish, probably white. Just like within my situation, I would prefer my child to marry somebody of our that comes from our background. Just more, it's just it's an understanding that we have within each other as opposed to having to I don't have to I shouldn't have to explain what a what black flight is or have to pull up a book for you to understand or see what it's a thing that we all come from, so it's just understood within that. But that was my thought in that.
Right. What about you, Chris?
No, I agree with what Jason said. And then it's almost like she said something like, we're having mixed babies or black, something like that. I'm just like, but it was weird because the whole time she's like stereotyping her tremendously. Like she never really got to know Lauren London. She's just like, all these things like, oh, the police this, or I'm a designer, or like exhibit and all that stuff. Like, who even says she watched Pimp My Ride? Like stuff like that. You can't group everybody, every black person in the same way. And it was just like coming off so hard, and it's just like, nah, it was just they was doing a lot. They tried to, make it a little bit funny, but I was just like, yeah, y'all doing too much.
Nah, it wasn't. It was terrible, but yeah, I was just like, this entire them being at the house. I was just like, all right, I'm ready for this scene to be over. And then they go back to the living room where everybody is, and they hear piano playing. John Legend, Ordinary People. I thought this entire scene of how everybody was seated was funny because the daughter's on the back couch. Amira is in a chair in front of the piano. And then Mulder is playing on the piano and he's singing. And he seemed like, he does this frequently, but I was like, what? She just turned around and like Ezra was looking at her like, what the fuck is going on? And she's like, it's okay. I was just, yeah, I don't know. I was just like, this is going to be interesting since we already know how Akbar is. So just to see the parents come together, what kind of headbutting is going to happen.
Yeah, I was waiting for that.
Right. So then, like in the next scene, we have Mo and Ezra at the bar, and Ezra is showing Mo the ring that he plans on giving Amir. So Mo was like, "My nigga, what is this?" Like, he was like, "I know it's small, but and it's in a Tiffany's box, which was cute. But Mo was still like, nah, like, what is this?" And they were talking, and he was just like, "I still haven't met her parents yet." And I'm like, bruh, 6 months. But you got to go through all 4 seasons. So technically they only went through 2, Jason. So should have waited a little bit longer, maybe.
I mean, they could have been in 3. They could have began at the end of one and got to the beginning of another one.
So even then, the third one, you ain't even see the whole season yet. Sometimes at the beginning of winter, it's like warm, and then it's starting to go. They ain't even get there yet.
You definitely got to go through winter because when people cold, you got to see how they really are. And when they hide in that heat.
But I mean, but this also goes into I only can speak for one culture. That's maybe Black tradition. When you marry, if you ain't going to engage a woman, you ask the parents for the hand in marriage, right?
I mean, I would think so, but then I would also think meet them before you bring up marrying.
I said this. I feel like that. I said that may be a Black thing. I don't know if white people do care about that or not.
Oh,
that's a good point.
Well, I guess we can. This is a question for anybody listening that is a different culture than us. Let us know. Educate us. What y'all be doing?
Because that's crazy.
But I thought the conversation between Mo and Ezra was funny because Mo was just like, wait, you ain't met the parents yet? It's like, you need to get yourself prepared for that. You definitely need to meet them. And so when they were looking at the ring, Mo was just trying to think like, maybe since you're Jewish, say your great grandmother gave it to you that survived the Holocaust. And Mo was like, but you need to get it out that box because that's not giving Holocaust box vibes. And I was just like, y'all niggas, wow. Like that entire exchange in the bar, like if I was in that bar and I passed him and I heard that shit, like what the hell are they talking about? But I probably would have sat beside them just to get more context of their conversation. I wouldn't have interrupted, but I'd have been like listening.
Can I get some extra ice just for no reason?
Where's your cup? Oh shit. But and so we go to Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles. And we are you said yeah, Roscoe's is good. Them meeting at Roscoe's.
Like, hold on, time out. Hold on. Where you go to Roscoe's at?
I believe it's a Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle in Georgia.
Okay. In Georgia?
I think so.
But
I know I've had it before, but I haven't had it in a while. Jason, you know I be traveling, so don't be trying to sit up here and be like,
I've only known it. I was going to ask you that because I'm like,
not since I've been in Florida.
I'm gonna say set that up.
Oh shit! I'll look into it.
I'm gonna say set that up, but I thought they were only in California. That's what I was gonna say. That's why I asked, and I'm like, but
Jazz ain't never been to California.
That's why I thought he was going with it.
I did. That's why I was going. I'm like, wait, I thought they was only. But if you been shit, you been. It's like honestly, it's like Waffle House, but they actually have chicken. Like Waffle House don't sell chicken.
Right. All right. So.
Yeah, trying to see where Roscoe's is.
No, because I know I had it before, but I don't know where I had it.
Oh, okay.
In Georgia, they used to have Gladys Knight's Chicken and Waffles, but they closed.
I've had that. For real?
Closed. Yeah. Last time I went, I was going to a J. Cole concert. To go 3. And it shut down like 2016, 2017. They shut them down, and then like I think
when did she start dropping them pies?
That's Patty.
Shit, you right.
I sound so fat on this podcast right now, just naming all these different places.
Jason said, "Hold up, wrong legend." Like, chill.
Yeah, them patty pies.
Right. All right. So
I only see Roscoe's in Cali, by the way. I don't know if that's what you're looking for, Jazz.
I think she was at Gladys. I think she was at Gladys in Georgia. It sounds very similar, but Gladys, oh my God, the chicken and waffles there, the greens, the yams, the ham, potatoes,
the chicken and waffles.
Jason said, "I'm gonna go right now."
Every time I go back,
Jason said, "Oh my God!"
Like, I'm mad. Like, damn, they closed it for real.
Dang, Gladys.
Okay, so Jazz hasn't had Roscoe's. I was just like, damn, for real? It was Gladys. My bad. But shout out to all the chicken. That shit is amazing.
This is the blackest podcast we have.
But how did y'all feel about this scene with Ezra meeting Akbar and
Racist. Racist. Why you say he took him to a chicken and waffle place of all places in the world?
I mean, that's how Akbar felt. He was just kind of like, "Why are we here?" Like you visit here often?
My dad is Muslim, so bro, he don't eat chicken. Like that was like taking him to his plate. That would have been, what are you doing?
Oh damn,
that would have been crazy.
Yeah, they was heavy on the trying to be accepted, and
the encounters between a lot of these characters just seem it didn't seem natural. It didn't seem organic to me.
Mm-hmm.
And it just seemed like he was just trying so hard, which, okay, I get. You trying hard to impress the parents so you can marry their daughter because you love her and all that stuff. And I was actually shocked at Akbar's response because he was just like, when Ezra finally got to telling them he wants to propose to Amir after bringing up the goat, and they like, what are you talking about? I hated the script in this movie. I can see which was also cringy because I was just like, come on. It took you 2-3 days to write this shit? But yeah, what you got to say, Jason? Did you feel a different kind of way in this scene? Because
I didn't.
I thought he was.
remember when I first found out Mariah Carey was mixed. I was like, "Dang, for real?"
Yeah, that was a big surprise.
Yeah, I thought she was full white.
Wait, wait,
Yes. Please
wait,
tell me
wait.
you knew that. You knew that, right?
Y'all didn't know she was mixed?
Oh, I thought she didn't know she was.
The way she acted, yeah, I didn't know I thought she was full white.
I mean, it's been a while since I found out, but at first
I
I
was
thought she
like,
was just straight white.
I was like in.
Are
I
you
was like in.
serious?
I was like in fourth grade, maybe third grade. They had these little writing things at the end of the year, like we used these like end of the year test, and it was about her and her family being from out the country. And I was like, man, I said, y'all know she's not even black, y'all. I thought it was like that. They was like, Jason, you don't have to be from America to be black. This is how you can identify as black. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, I thought she was white.
Yeah, I was in like middle school when I found out. I think it was after an award show. Somebody like
it may have been seventh grade though, actually, and I take that back. It was like something like that. Yeah, right about your best friend.
I don't know how we got here, but I've always known Mariah Carey was mixed. That's crazy.
Excuse me, Miss Encyclopedia over here.
I mean, shit. I used to listen to her music a lot. Always Be My Baby was my shit. I love that song.
I mean, and none of them songs have any. They was talking about blackness or being black in them.
But they were talking about love. It was
and the love interest is always some white guy with blue eyes.
So I don't remember her music videos back in the 90s, but shout out to you for remembering. I mean, but you can't really go off the love interest what race they are. I never thought Mariah was all white. Wow, that's interesting. I don't know how we got here. Jason, was there a reason how we pivoted? Or it was just
is Zoe inside down the mix?
That heifer is definitely.
I think so. Yeah, she's on Columbia.
Her love interest. Okay.
It was one of the. He said he was like this. We can have like mixed babies. Mariah Carey, Derek Jeter, or like the GOAT. That's what he said. That's why I went to Mariah Carey.
Oh, okay. Got you.
He said, which GOAT?
I know it's GOAT. I know what the GOAT means. Which GOAT you referring to?
But that entire interaction was strange. And then we go to Amira. She's on the phone with her mom, Miss Nia Long. And Ezra just comes into the house, or excuse me, this is before they got the house, but he seemed like he was coming into her apartment or one of the apartments. I don't know. And he just seemed down. He was just like, the lunch didn't go how I had planned. He was just like, well, I just got off the phone with my mom. Like, why did you meet up with my parents without letting me know? So he had their contact information, but he's never met them. And he didn't tell her he was going out to lunch with them. Because I guess in my mind, I would think if I'm dating somebody, the first time I meet their parents, I need them with me. This ain't gonna be no behind your back type of meetup, because I need you to be able to guide the conversation and everything, because I don't know these two niggas, but I want to make sure I give a good impression. If you're not there with me, I'm just stranger danger. I mean,
you can.
Jason, you beat your parents without
put me anywhere. Put me anywhere, Jazz. I'm going to swim.
Chris, what about
the water?
This guy. Preferably, I would want. Yeah, I don't know what he's talking about.
Because he can't float.
I said that. I said you put me anywhere, and I'm going to swim except in water.
You gonna swim in dirt? Some sand?
Well, basically, what I was saying was I'm going to do well in the situation, except if you put me inside water. But I mean,
Jazz took her lessons now. You can't just get that off. Like
I'm gonna get it off.
What is that? You're not doing nothing doing that.
Jazz said you can't backstroke. Like you
cannot.
Yeah, you. But no, I need the parents with me. I mean, I need her with me when I meet the parents.
Right.
At least the initial. Like we can have a conversation without it, but at least initially, like introduce me to her.
Right. It was a few things in this movie where I was just like, the order of operation of things that normally would happen did not seem like they did. But I was just like, all right.
They're not a normal couple, Jazz. So.
Oh, I guess this is true, Chris. I guess this is true. But so Ezra was upset. And I guess he just spoiled his entire engagement idea, because he's sitting there telling her what his plan was. He pulls out the ring, still in the Tiffany's box. So he tried to get that Holocaust idea off. She canceled that quickly, but she just reacted to him as he was upset, not really paying attention or processing what was going on. He was just like, I wanted them just to get their blessing because I wanted to propose. I had this whole thing. She was just like, propose? And he's pulling out the ring, and she was just like, no, you can still do it. And he's still on his soapbox, like, but everything's not gonna work out. And she's just like, nah, Ezra, do it. And so he proposes. They do a fake kiss. I think here it was.
Did they kiss? I feel like they kissed, but I don't know how. Was it a cheek kiss?
I heard it was CGI, but that's just what I heard.
The
ending kiss was a
this
CGI.
one might have been
I don't know
too.
about this.
If the ending was.
Oh, I thought it was like all of them in the movie.
Probably was.
Nah, because he was talking about just when they were there. I definitely rewinded a few times. I couldn't tell.
I thought this scene was funny because he was like, "Let me take off my shoes so I don't crease them." Very smart, by the way.
Thank you. Some people got sense out here.
And somebody doesn't have sense.
A lot of people don't have sense.
Yeah, but. And so it seems like Ezra wants to take his podcast career. I don't know if he was trying to take a shot or not. So I was just like, let me just continue. But was you trying to take a shot at somebody, Jason?
I always take shots. Every episode I take shots.
Oh, okay. Bet. I hope whoever the shot was for, y'all got hit. But
I'm sure it's well received.
Success. So the next morning we see Ezra, he's trying to take his podcast career to the next level, and so he's about to quit his job. And so Amira is just hyping him up. She was like, you got the juice, you got this, go ahead, tell me what you about to say to your boss. Ezra had a whole speech ready. Did Ezra use it? No. But she was just amping him up. I was just like, oh, that's cute. And the fact that the movie Juice was referenced, which is also a movie Tupac was in. And Amir was just like, have you even seen, as soon as you get home, you got to see Juice. Because I don't think Shelley has let you see that movie. And Ezra was just like, what you mean? He was trying to make it seem like he has seen it, and he was upset with her saying that he didn't. Do y'all think he's seen it?
I don't personally.
I don't know.
He's probably heard of it, and he's probably like no references, but he ain't said I haven't watched the movie. So
I've been hearing about people haven't seen Friday here lately though, which is kind of wild.
Hold up, wait,
seen Friday?
Mm-hmm.
They have not seen Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Chris Tucker, Ice Cube.
Yep.
Name them.
just like put a name on that book.
Put the names down, Jason. We need to know. The people need to know these imposters. How have you never seen Friday?
I was just, it was just interesting. I was like, I was just wondering.
It don't sound like you provided enough judgment.
They weren't black, so I didn't.
Oh, all right. So we see Ezra go to his job. He goes to his boss. And I'm not going to lie, I semi-understood this scene because at my last job, when I was trying to put my 2 weeks notice in, it's awkward as shit. When you sitting there and you just like, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and let them know I'm about to be out of here. But I wasn't afraid or intimidated by my boss at the time. So I was just like, yeah, so here go my 2 weeks notice. And he was like, Jazz, is there anything that we can know? I'm leaving. I'm out of here, Chief. I'm going to Tampa. Deuces. And so, but Ezra, he didn't really deliver it well. And I don't know what his letter said, but do y'all remember what, like, I guess his manager was like, so you're moving where? Because it wasn't like a location like out of the country, or am I making that up?
I think you made that up.
Yeah, he was talking about, he said, this is how you quit. But he said you something in your resignation letter, something to that effect.
Yeah,
he was like, nothing to do with moving.
Yeah, he was like, this how you quitting? Like what? He was like trying to get him to come back and talk to him.
Yeah.
Like as far as
didn't he say like a company name or something?
I don't
think so.
Oh,
yeah, maybe I had to watch it for the third.
I don't know, but what I did see. He was on there. You see his computer screen? You seen that, Chris?
Oh, what was it?
He was like, they don't pay taxes in Wakanda. Why should I? and on one of his screen.
Oh wow. Wow.
And
Shout
on
out
the
to
other
Black.
and on the other screen, it was like, how do you evade tax evasion, on his screen. So yeah, he was in there running amok. So it was going to be some BS about to happen.
I mean, it seemed like Ezra left just in time. But of course, soon as Ezra gets back home and he's telling Amir how he quit his job, he lying like shit.
Yeah.
He lying. He was just like, yeah, so I said all of this. And I was just like, Ezra, you ain't say all that.
Yeah.
Right. But then we find out that they bought a house together. And so now they're like, okay, we need to start preparing for the wedding. And bringing their parents together. The moment we've been waiting for, Chris, because I know that you mentioned earlier that you were interested in seeing how these two would come together. Like, when you saw this scene, what were your thoughts? Like, what did you think about this scene?
I just knew something bad was about to happen. Cause like we got introduced to Ezra's family and even the interactions with Lauren London. Then we got introduced to Akbar and like not so much his interactions at first with Ezra, but just how he is. So Ezra is one thing, but then just seeing the whole family where they have no idea about him at all, I was just like, yeah, this was I thought this was gonna be the funniest scene in the movie, but
what level was your laugh on out of 10?
I think this whole movie I chuckled maybe, but I don't think I bust out laughing. So this scene, it was probably like what Jason say, 5.5. Ain't that what he do? So I give it like a 5.5.
Jason, what did you think about this dinner scene or the parents meeting?
Yeah, it was just like, yeah, because I mean, more discourse, more Twitter discourse, which is slavery comparable to the Holocaust, and we see these conversations often,
all the time,
and it's just like, why are we comparing? Why are we comparing these things? So yeah, it was whatever. I did see one thing. I know people were saying it was disrespectful how they burnt the kufi and they stumped it and they didn't replace it. They did. A lot of people felt like that was disrespectful to put in a movie.
That's interesting.
And you kind of also within here, you see Ezra he act like Shelly in this moment as well. Like when he's in front of the dad, he pulls a Shelly, the same thing that she was doing. Because he was like, Farrakhan, oh man, love him. Oh, love him. It was like, oh, what do you like about Farrakhan?
Susie said that the parents the go like, I was like, no.
When you look at their facial expressions, because Shelly was just like what you said, Chris, she's like, what you know about Farrakhan? And then he was saying like, I agree with him. And then Shelly was like, well, some stuff we didn't agree with, like what he said about Jews. And it was just, that scene was like, anytime I see a dinner scene in any movie, I'm just like, all hell about to break loose. Yeah. Shout out to Tyler Perry for putting that in me, because every single movie that he has made where it is a dinner scene, all hell breaks loose. It's drama, it's chaos, all of that shit. So when I saw it here, I was just like, well, they probably be going to the same brunch spot, Kenya and TP. So I'm like, this about to be some wild shit at the dinner table as well.
I thought they handled the culture dynamic too, because they was just like, who's going to officiate the wedding? Like, would it be a rabbi or imam?
Yeah,
imam.
Thanks. And she was like, who's Auntie Mom or something, like she said something funny. That was kind of funny, but it was just like, that's one of those interesting dynamics where you got to think about, outside your race. Like Jason was saying earlier, you want somebody who's understanding it. So those are the type of stuff you got to think about.
Yeah, and I think this scene probably had the funniest moment for me when Nia Long was just like, oh yeah, I can prove it. Honey, go get my slave receipts out my purse. That was probably the funniest line in this entire movie. I was just like, wait a minute, slave receipts? Like what? Like that's like wild to me. But I probably like had a nice little laugh off of that. And then it was absent the next hour and a half. But was there anything y'all wanted to add to this dinner scene? Jason, like you wanted to add something?
What I was going to ask is religion a big thing for y'all? Like if y'all were to get married, like do y'all need to have the same belief?
Yes.
Yeah.
What about you?
I don't know, because I was definitely raised my mother Christian, my dad Islamic, so it would be. I mean, I'd be open within one of those, I guess, because I'm familiar with both of them. So yeah.
Right.
But like I know a lot of people, they look at it like it needs to be like this. It has to be this way, or it's no, you know. But I get it because when you start going down the line, it's when you start raising kids, man.
Yeah.
Whew, that's a whole other ball
Yeah,
game. That's a new relationship when you when you have a child and you try to share this with a person, because then it's your beliefs. This person believes, even if you under a Christianity, a Christian household. That's the word. The relationship dynamic of how you feel like because it's all about your interpretation of the Bible. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Right. And so definitely after this scene, we have Amira and Ezra at the house, and we see their first argument. Because obviously the dinner did not go well, and it was just their families just trying to figure out how you could find a solution of them getting along. And so they were able to talk it out and come to like trying to, I guess, diffuse the situation, because I feel like in a lot of relationships, from me personally, I'd just be like, let's not go to sleep angry with each other. That's all I'm gonna say about that. But it's always best, don't go to sleep angry with each other. That's all I say. But not saying that don't work all the time, but it do a little bit. And so they were just coming up with a solution of like, okay, Amir was just like, you hang out with my father and I'll go out with your mom to where we can come like try to get more familiar with each other, be more comfortable with each other. And I think this movie had a lot of the scenes were in parallel of the couple, to where they weren't in the same scene, but they were doing similar actions at the same time.
Yeah.
And so I think moving forward in the film, it was a lot of scenes like that. It wasn't too much at the beginning, but a lot of scenes like that moving forward of them, each individual going out with the other's parent. And so we see Ezra and Akbar in the car. Fellas, how are y'all reacting to this scene if you are with your future spouse's father in the car?
You talking about niggas in Paris, bro?
Or just like that whole scene of them in the car and Akbar is just like, yeah, so like, what is this song? Like, you know, the name of it? Because Ezra, as soon as it came on, Ezra was like, oh, this is my shit.
He got the slap. He's slapping the door and everything going. So like, are you referring to just how I felt about them, or if it was me in the situation?
So I guess people that watched this already saw how they were. So let me ask y'all, if y'all were in a situation to where you were going out with you and it's just you and your spouse's father, man, like what impression y'all doing? Let me ask this: where y'all going? If y'all could pick a location, where are y'all going when it's just you and your spouse's father?
Oh man, that's kind of hard if I don't know them.
Pretend you do, Jason.
But he literally doesn't. So, and he was riding with Akbar. Akbar took him to the places. So I would probably find
Jesse work with me.
Right. I'm just like, this is a hypothetical. Like,
if I had it my way, I would probably go somewhere live music. Something like that is where I would go. Somewhere to eat, of course. And I don't know, cigar bar, maybe a bar. I don't, something like that.
Sure.
Yeah, sporting event off grid.
Oh, sporting event. Chris is like, we going to a game.
Yeah, because like,
I don't want to
speak for everybody. Just relax. That was unnecessary. No, I don't want to speak for everybody, but for the most part, guys, you can bond over, like sports. Like, most of the time people like sports. So that's a good way to just sort of break the ice a little bit. It's easy to have some sort of conversation about something. So that'd probably be the first place. And yes, a Commanders game, Jazz.
That's a horrible date.
It's not a date.
It's not a date.
Why do
you just wanted to take shots? It's ridiculous.
He want to call everything a date.
Call that.
Right.
Everything could be a date.
It could be.
But thank you. That's all I need. That's all I want you to do. It could be. It's what you make it.
It's what you make it. But everything does not have to be a date. So I think it's a situation where we can agree to disagree. Both answers are correct. If it's two friends where there's no interest, a walk is not a date.
I didn't say it was. You can, but the same exact walk, you can make it a date.
You
That's all I'm
can.
saying.
You can. You can.
That's all I'm saying. That's the only thing I'm saying. It could be. It's not saying every time it is. No.
For anybody that need context, go back to episode 35.
Yeah, watch Best Man episode.
But like, how did y'all feel about this car scene? Niggas in Paris, Ezra getting lit, and Akbar is like, nah, I'm not feeling this.
I mean, with that scene, I think Chris, he sent us some about, I think it was Jason, Shay. He was saying it was like it was lazy, like a lazy joke. Especially with that song coming out like in 2013, 2012. Like, come on, we can. It's other stuff we can do now. I mean, it was a different way to do it. In the car, it could have been. They could have did like it would have been funnier if they would have done a scene of like a radio. They would just do the radio and like a radio host came on. They were asking like a topic in a black community type thing. He'd be like, "What your thoughts about? You got a podcast? Tell me what you think about that." That would have been way. You know what I'm saying?
That's fire.
Just edit that out just in case we monetize that later.
You'll never hear this again.
Never happened.
But no, that's a really good idea because it would wrap around to his podcast, because as we found out later on, Ezra, when he lashed out, he was like, you keep coming for my podcast. So honestly, that makes a lot more sense than what we got. But Chris, what did you think about this scene, or did you want to add anything?
No, I agree. It was lazy sounds harsh, but that's the only word I could think of to describe it. It was just like, okay, it's the easy out. Like, let's just put this scene in. And I also felt like it lasted a little too long, which is like the third or fourth time I've said that. So it was just kind of like, okay,
I'm
like,
keeping count.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
It's kind of like, we get it, like, so that's how I felt.
I think actually calling out every scene that seemed like it was too long. I think
Testing, barking. Hey,
I'm just saying. But then we also flip to another scene where we have Amir and Shelly in the car. This scene is just, unless I misinterpreted wrong, it was just, okay, I don't remember exactly what song Shelly was singing, but sis was going hard. Now, okay, so I'm not gonna lie. If I'm in the car and my song come on, and it's one of my, I'm just like, I know every word, like Deborah Cox and RL, We Can't Be Friends. I know every word.
We know, know. Like,
I'm sorry.
How many times you sing this song? And how many people you told this to?
Anybody that I can, but now everyone listening will also know it as well. So, but I'm gonna sing it. What happened in this scene to where I guess Amir would have been pissed off outside of Shelly singing to her lungs seemed like they were gonna collapse.
The song is called Rise Up by Andre Day. And it's like a uplifting black power type. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. And why she was singing it in that. Yeah.
It's like All Right by Kendrick, but with falsetto. Like you just singing instead of rapping. That's pretty much what it is. So it's just kind of like, all right, yeah.
And I do appreciate one of the things I can count on my hand that I appreciate from this film is their use of art and music.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I thought was great in this film. But we get to the barbershop. Y'all can relate to this scene more than me because y'all go to barbershops. So what did y'all feel about this scene and how Akbar low-key set up Ezra? Because
that was hacky. You put him in a crib barbershop. I was just like, dang. Get him
red. No, he got on red.
Yeah, no, that was it was funny-ish. I like that scene.
Funny-ish, considering this man made blackish, grownish, mixed-ish.
And then we got Anthony Hamilton or Anthony
Anderson. Yeah.
Anderson.
He was the barber.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was in a barbershop.
Yep.
So in California, because this is what they are, a lot of their areas are like this for real. So I like how they did like a nod to that. Like when you start going to these different places, you really have to be careful in the territories because you out of towner would know. But I clearly Ezra didn't know because he was just moving around in his outfit just like it was a normal day. So yeah, Aqua was wrong for that.
Right. I definitely agree. And then when he was just like, some of the guys that was there was like, yo, take that hoodie off. And then here go Akbar. I mean, if you take that off, that means, you know, they're going to ask you to do something else. So it's going to be like you in the yard getting bitched. Like he just saying all of this stuff to Ezra just to make him uncomfortable, make him paranoid. And he just like, why are you doing this? It was just too much. And then I hated the fact that sometimes certain characters would say, like, call Ezra a nigga. I don't remember it being this scene because I think they just call him white
cuz.
But it was other scenes where they was just like, what up, nigga? Hey, and I'm just like, all right, y'all need to relax. Even if y'all black, it's just like you doing way too much, you know? And so the next scene we have Shelly and Amir, they are at a spa location. Shelly making a big deal out of something that's not even there. And it's just like she was just trying so hard because they come into the spa location. She's just like trying to check in and the girl's on the phone. Like, it's only one associate up there. Just be patient. She'll obviously get to you when she can because the person on the phone doesn't know what's going on. So they're trying to get that together. And then another young lady walks in. The girl on the phone waves and she goes to the back. Shelly immediately is just like, did you see that? Amir's like, I ain't see nothing. Like, what you talking about? And she just like, that. She was like, see, I come here all the time. But now that I'm here with you, it's like she's trying to like reach for a problem that's not there.
Yep.
Just so she can have a reason to, I guess, be involved or be affected. And it's just like it's not there. You reaching, especially for the fact that Mira's like, I don't know what the hell you talking about.
Right. Like she could have had an appointment. She was basically trying to victimize the situation for no reason.
Exactly.
She made an assumption and she was just like, this is what I talk about. You have to deal with this stuff. Amir, like, she could have had an appointment. Like you looking at it more racist than she is. And then, it turns out she actually worked there. And I saw that coming when I first seen the movie. But it just.
But you know what's wild? As you said that, you know who that reminded me of? Socks from Atlanta.
Oh yeah, that's a good comparison. Yep, Socks is the same. Yeah, I mean, they talked about, Malcolm X was in this movie. He said something, so.
Right. So I was just like, like, you looking real dumb. And then as she was fussing out the girl that was on the phone, she was just like, this racism. The girl, like, what the hell are you talking about? And then the other associate comes up and they're like, oh, hey. And Shelly just looking there stupid. And Amir was just like, let's go get some fresh air.
Yeah, because you clearly need it. Like you just bugging.
Like you just doing the absolute most and just for no reason, And I was just like, all right, bro. Y'all are this dense, but I think a lot of the stuff was amped up to the max for this film. But then we get to the basketball court. How did y'all? I'm just sitting like, man, ain't no way. I was just shook my head through this entire scene.
I did not see this coming at all. But it was funny because he was just like, I think he said earlier, he comes to this park all the time. He was like, this part, like you hoop over here. And then, when he got out there, he was like, we got next. And he started recording him. That was kind of funny too, because he put him on Facebook Live or IG Live, whatever. And he was just like, yeah, I'm recording you. So I did not expect him to just go out there and start balling, but.
I mean, you say white man, they got to move. White man can't jump. They got one out there, so it typically can happen. It can happen.
Well, I should say I wasn't expecting Ezra.
Oh, Ezra.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
He traveled the first time he got the ball, but we're gonna let it ride. But yeah, I like the scene. I like the scene because it needed to show he could carry himself in that situation. Mm-hmm. He wasn't scared. You know what I'm saying? Like so he needed a win in front of Akbar, regardless of how he felt about it. I enjoyed that.
And I thought it was funny he still had his hoodie on.
But a lot of people balling with their hoodies.
Yeah. He had a lot of scenes with a hoodie.
It's Cali though. I mean, when you go, you will figure it out. You can wear a hoodie year round. It ain't gonna.
Yeah, because hoodie. Yeah, shorts on too, right?
He did.
Yeah, so I can believe that. They do that here sometimes, so I get it.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a victim of doing that too. It's just something about shorts and a hoodie. I don't know. It's kind of dope.
It's like when you got the fan on, but you're still under the cover.
Yes, and the air is on too.
Yeah,
but you sitting there like I can't leave my sheets.
Yeah, it's like the perfect mix of temperatures.
Exactly.
I get it.
But so now that we know Ezra can play ball, he's like, yo, he got a pair of shoes while he was out there. He was like, yo, put me on the group chat because I love these guys. And it was just like, Akbar don't know these niggas. But I was just, yeah, I was like, all right, so now you can play ball. That's what's up. And so we get back to another scene. And I thought it was interesting how we got continuous conversations between him and Mo.
Mm-hmm.
And then in this next scene, Mo was able to give a very deep analogy of like their relationship and how it kind of connects to culture today, or like I guess American history. Like, do y'all remember what Mo had mentioned to him during this conversation about how, let me see if I remember, it was black people, no, it's
black and white
Jason,
people never be cool.
Yeah.
but do you remember the breakdown of how she compared that to
She compared it
relationships?
she compared it to cheating. She was like, you know, black people are the girl who got cheated on, and you know she'll never be able to get past it because you know what you did and what you still doing, and
Right.
that's why black people and white people never be cool. And Ezra, he couldn't get it in that conversation. In the initial conversation, he couldn't get it because he was like, "Be my best friend, and we do a podcast." He was like, "Yeah, but it's a little bit different when it comes to it."
Did this make sense to y'all?
It
Yeah, it made
did.
perfect sense to me. Yeah.
Yeah, horrible. I mean, it's horrible, but yeah, it definitely makes sense.
Yeah. I thought the analogy was kind of, you know, unnecessary, but I get it.
Was it
She
a
said something
reach?
like, not a reach, but she said something like, ain't no sex or something. Wasn't she saying something like that?
What's
Was she
that?
talking about sex or something like that? So was she using it as an analogy with this whole situation? I
Not
just
on
remember
this
that.
one.
Okay, I just remember that happening.
Not in this. This wasn't the sex analogy. No.
Oh, okay.
She threw a lot out there.
Well, hold on. Yes, she did.
I feel like it was, yeah.
Okay. Because she was like, you know, she all worried about some. Did you strap her? Did she suck it?
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. I was just kind of like, all right. Like I was just like, all right,
Because
bro.
he said because the woman begins to ask questions that she really don't want the answer to, but she's going to continue to ask him and ask him and ask him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's of course if you cheat, but
Yeah.
Yeah. But definitely after that scene, we see them speaking to wedding planners / event planners / event organizers. I did 3 slashes, but there were only 2 people. But some folks claim certain titles, but then as Amir was able to elaborate, he does events at I think the Doubletree. But so I believe we are at Ezra's parents' house, and they had some wedding planners that were from each family that they were associated with. So I'm not even gonna lie, Kenya has a long list of people to call for these movies. Because when I saw, I don't know his name, but he was the planner that
Dion
came,
Cole.
right?
Yeah.
Dion. So every time I see him and son, I'm just like, oh, this thing about to be foolish. His wedding theme idea was foolish, but y'all know I love LED lights. And I was like, that do sound lit, but not for my wedding. That's something I would do. Like, okay, me and my friends get together, we put on our damn Tron suits with LED lights, and we gonna run around in the dark. I'm not doing that shit at my wedding.
It's like a party thing, not a wedding thing.
Right, that's for the reception.
Yeah.
But then you have a wedding planner that's associated with Ezra's family, and they came up with the idea of doing like an old Hollywood theme. And so Shelley was like, "Oh, I like that idea." And then here Akbar is quick on it. So back when Black artists were performing in hotels they couldn't sleep in. And then Shelley was just like, yeah, so scratch that idea. We don't
He
want to
was
do
being
that.
difficult. He was just being difficult.
But was he lying though?
Nah, he wasn't lying. Like he was telling the truth, but he was just, you know, he was just being difficult just to make it. He wanted stuff his way.
Right.
That scene was cool.
I thought it was funny because I was just like, okay, so like planning a wedding just seems like definitely a lot of work. But then when you have 2 planners from different cultures, the way to actually put them together to present your vision, don't that seem like a lot of obstacles?
Yeah, they had a ton of obstacles. You had the different wedding planners, you had the parents, their religion, you know, conflict. But you know, love pushes through all. That's the
Right.
shit.
Love
Love
prevails.
I love wins. There you go. Love prevails.
Right. And so like now we get to a scene where Ezra and Amira is at home and Amira is all dressed up and she's about to go on an interview. And so now Ezra is pumping her up. He's telling her, okay, you got the juice, you got this. She like, you still ain't seen that movie, have you? And so I thought this interview process that she had went on, it was the way that obviously it ended was very unfortunate, but I was just like, yikes. So you go to an interview all dressed up, showing your artwork, and it seemed like it was going well until it got to the point to where they were just like, so you went to Harvard, right? So maybe we can connect some like people that we network with. And she was like, nah, I went to Howard. And they were just like so confused. And maybe it's just me. I'm like, how the fuck do you not know or ever heard of Howard? And I'm just,
You'd be surprised.
You met some people that's never heard of like Howard University before?
Two different worlds.
That's like that, and like and I understand. I definitely understand that.
And to us, it's just like, really, like even Juice, like, you know, we seen Juice, like that's
Friday.
But Friday, exactly.
No,
like, but
Howard.
I'm telling you, Jazz, two different worlds.
Look,
it's
I'm
crazy,
glad,
but hey,
man. But it was. And then when I like on my rewatch, when I was looking at it, it didn't hit me when I was watching it in the beginning, but I was like, both of these motherfuckers in this interview wearing Harvard hoodies, which it's like, okay, you coming in for an interview, business casual. Y'all in hood. I was just like, all right, because it's kind of disheartening, but I guess if you going in for an interview trying to get a gig, it doesn't matter what they're wearing, long as you look presentable.
Yeah.
But like when they were just like looking real questionable in the face of like, what is Howard? I was like, she not gonna get this.
Yeah, he said something like sounds familiar. I was just like, okay. It was just
and it's just like, so just because she didn't go to Harvard, you just ignored her entire presentation. But that's one of those things folks deal with. It's just like the bullshit. But then on a lighter note, we see Southwest. Ezra and Mo are on the plane headed to Vegas because that's where everybody goes for their bachelor party, I guess, to go to Sin City, Vegas. Ezra is excited. He's amped up. And then he sees Akbar.
Bruh, that's crazy. Because he definitely didn't invite him. So I was just kind of like, okay.
So, like, I guess, what were your thoughts on this scene when you were just like, okay, Akbar's on the trip, and then as Akbar is sitting there, then you see Omar, and then here's the scene where Omar was like, what up, nigga? And I was just like,
they got you.
He does. I mean, he does. He says it often in Dave. You watch Dave?
No, I don't.
Okay. He says it in Dave a lot. You never watch Dave neither?
I didn't know Taco was in. This is the first time I've seen Taco.
Yeah, you should watch Dave. You should definitely peep Dave. Like season 2's crazy. I'm like a white Atlanta, but yeah.
I was gonna say that's what I heard. You may have said that actually.
It's like white Atlanta, but it's in LA. So.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so I guess somebody that has seen his previous work will understand the connection there.
I mean, that's just how they are. Him, Tyler, that's just them. If you ever watch them, like in old blogs and stuff like that.
Tyler,
the creator. I'm sorry. And his sister is Sid. If you didn't know that.
Yeah. The internet. Oh, we gonna get the vibes, Jazz. You were talking about vibes earlier. We got you. The internet is fire.
Yeah.
Steve Lacy, all them. That's our feature.
Or I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about right now.
Yeah, you definitely heard Bad Habit.
Right.
She heard it. She can be like, "Oh yeah, we got you. Don't worry."
All right, y'all hold it for me later. But so they are on the plane, and the fact that Akbar is he shot Ezra on the plane, and then he's like, "What's up, man? What's your name?" To Mo.
I'm Mo. I have titties. I was just like, he's like, okay, sister, man, Mo. I was just like, this is awkward. Like,
I was like, oh my goodness. And then when he goes back to sit with Omar, did you know Mo was a chick? He was like, yeah, her titties on her chest. Like, that was just one of the things where it's like, when you got tunnel vision, it's just like open, like take your blinders off and like look, like, and see. And so like Akbar and Omar's plan is just like to go to Vegas, mess the entire bachelor party weekend up for Ezra. And I'm just like, y'all did all of this for what? Like, that's just doing way too much. I was just like, all right, you ain't got shit else to do. But then in this scene, Akbar told Ezra, he was just like, well, since I heard that Amari was taking your mother, or his mother, Ezra's mother, Shelly, on Palm Springs, he was like, I figured I can join y'all. Ezra was like, I didn't invite you, but all right. So they go to Vegas, and then we see the ladies for their bachelorette weekend in the lobby, and we see some familiar faces. We of course see Lala. Actually, and then we see, is it Carisha? Carisha, whatever, you know what I meant. And then we see one of the twins from ATL.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nia Long is like, why are y'all loud in the lobby? They was lit, they was excited. I was like, okay. And so then Shelly comes up with I don't know Ezra's sister's name. Does anybody have her name saved? We'll call her Sis. So Shelly and Sis roll up, and Shelly's just like, hey y'all. And Amira's friends are just like looking confused, like, who is this? I didn't like this scene because, first off, all my homegirls, if we coming together for a weekend, I'm going to let them know off gate, my future mother-in-law is coming to this bachelorette weekend. They are going to know this before we get there. Mm-hmm. So they're going to know what kind of energy to be on. Amira didn't seem like she let her homegirls notice, and I was just like, then it wouldn't have been no confusion of like who this white woman is. Like, you already know, like, I've been dating a dude for 6 months. We're engaged. You know he's white. You know that his white mother is coming to my bachelorette weekend. But I was just like, maybe I'm nitpicking, because y'all know how I am when it comes to movies and all of that. But I was just like, it's just they've reached so much for a lot of racial jokes.
Yeah, I get it.
When it's just like, you ain't got to try this hard to be funny. But shit, I mean, I saw. So a lot of people say this shit was hilarious, but whatever. So the fellas get to Vegas, bachelorette weekend, or excuse me, bachelor weekend in Vegas. Is this the kind of energy and vibe that y'all would have or would want for your bachelor weekend?
Yes, I would have loved that vibe. I would have loved the vibe. Yes. Like I would have, and Daddy would have just been mad. I would have been in the strip club lit. Cause I'm not turning who I am down because you here. No, you didn't have to. Yeah. You didn't have to come here. You tell her whatever you want to, brother. I'm fit to enjoy myself.
That's not my vibe, but I agree with what Jason said, because he pretty much came there to sabotage everything. He wanted to find something that he could go back and tell his wife and tell his daughter, like, oh, this is why you shouldn't marry him. But at this point, I get it, because it turned out it was cocaine at the.
So did y'all, when his homeboy put him on blast, he was just like, where's the coke man, the one from last time? And Akbar is like asking him, like, so all of your friends do coke, but you don't do coke? And Ezra's just like, I know, it's putting a gap between us, like it's making us distant. And so I'm just like, Akbar is saying all of this, like, dude, he knows that your friends are wild. So, and normally it's one of the things where it's just like people that birds of a feather flock together, but it's Vegas, it's your bachelor weekend. And it's before you get married. So of course he's gonna have a good time with his homeboys, like all of that. So with Akbar being there in the strip club, I'm sure Ezra wanted his face in a stripper's ass, but he couldn't do that because Akbar is just sitting there. Because I'm wondering where Omar was.
He was with him. He was with him because when they was walking, one of the dudes was, you know, they do the cocaine thing with it, and he was looking at him, shaking his head like, yeah, these are wild boys. So he was there, but I don't know where he was at the strip club. Maybe he was, maybe he was getting a dance or something.
In a dance. And then the coke man came, and he was just remembering Ezra, when Ezra, I guess last time they were there, he shitted on himself. But I guess he was doing some really good coke. I don't know. But the coke man just throws a bag of coke on Ezra's chest. And I'm sitting here like, it's not discreet. And Akbar is just like, that's a lot of coke. And like his homeboys is just like so excited. I don't know about y'all friend group. My friend group would know, be discreet if Jazz's future mother-in-law is around us. We not bringing up none of her wild stories. None of that around future mother-in-law. Like, do y'all homeboys not know that golden rule? Like, don't bring up none of that. Talk about the Bible study lessons. Talk about the, serving the homeless, Thanksgiving meals handout.
I would say this. You should still, like, obviously you got to get the vibe of, whoever the in-law is, but you should still be yourself because it's going to come out eventually, like you with this person for the rest of your life. So you should still.
But the parents ain't supposed to know none of that. Your spouse can know all of that. The parents, no. Like I said, Bible study.
Chance and Bible.
Jazz, when last time you read the Bible?
Last time I read the Bible, 2 years ago.
Dang. I thought she was about to say last week.
Hold on, but check this out. I got the Bible app. What now?
And she
what now? Look. Hi.
You never sent me no scriptures.
That ain't my damn job. You get mad when I send you the news. So if you get mad at the news, I'm not sending you no Bible scriptures. Look.
Shoot me a Bible verse tonight.
I got you, and take a screenshot and then show the people. I got you. Since this episode drops on Tuesday, I got you. I will send you one tonight. And so we go to the bachelorette weekend in Palm Springs. The ladies are chilling around a bonfire, playing hangman. First off, I am not playing hangman with nobody. That's some shit I played in school. We playing spades, we playing Uno, or charades. Like, what are y'all games that y'all playing? Are y'all playing hangman?
Hangman is cool.
I might. But I mean, this was another tired joke. I mean, I've seen this 100 times.
Say what?
People play hangman or Jeopardy or something where the word is a 7-letter word and it's an S at the end and they're trying to figure out what it is. And typically they either say they say nigger or something to that effect. I've seen it. I've seen it done so many times.
So that means you probably didn't laugh at this scene.
I did not.
So let me ask y'all, since we are here, what are the first 2 games that y'all are bringing up to play at a group event?
First 2 games, spades is one. And if it's a whole bunch of people, Pictionary. Is it Pictionary? I think it's Pictionary.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think Jenga's fun because I feel like that's interactive and you could just like, make jokes like that. And maybe Uno, something like that. Depending on, I guess, well, people do the truth or dare thing, but I don't think that's appropriate everywhere. So
shout out to Truth or Truth.
Oh, yeah. Truth or Truth. That's a throwback. Yeah, Truth or Truth.
Boy, a lot of feelings got hurt those nights. But
the list.
The list. Shout out to everybody who made the list.
Shout out to Killer. That was too funny.
We got to get that old feeling back. But so the ladies are playing hangman, and like Jason mentioned, like the word 7-letter word ends in an S. And I think the hint was they know how to dance. So the ladies, I guess,
people who move beautifully.
Yeah. I don't remember what Shelly said when she got up after she said it's an N word.
She start with an N.
Right. And everybody's just like, no, this bitch didn't. But she guessed the word, but I don't remember what word it was. But it started with an N.
I don't remember.
It's okay. Somebody will tell us. But then Shirley was just like immediately. It just seemed like everything came to her mind after she said it. She didn't let it process in her mind until it was said out loud. And then she saw everybody's reaction and she was just like, oh. She was just like, oh, that's not what I meant. That's not what I meant. And then her daughter was just like, that's the word. And it was dancers.
Mm-hmm.
And then Shelly's out here snatching wigs.
That
was another scene where I was just like, for real, y'all? Like it's just,
I
It's
like,
too. What's the
I like,
word?
I like, I like the snatching of the wig off the Carisha head.
I bet
like
you
that?
did.
Yeah, I love Carisha.
Shout out to
So,
Karish.
so you like seeing her wig get snatched?
Mhm.
Jason.
All right, I'm
Yeah,
not.
you just went somewhere.
I did. He did. Let's move off of that. And so it's funny because she's over here panicking, and I'm sitting here like, it's just your friends around. 10 times out of 10, everybody there outside of the two people you just met on this trip have seen your braids, have probably helped you put your wig on. So I'm just like, might be doing a little extra. And then here go Lala, tall ass, was just like, girl, give me that wig. But at least Shelly was able to appreciate the good quality of
The
the wig.
craftsmanship. Yes. She was like,
But
I
it's the
think more
thing.
so-
But
Oh,
it's
go ahead.
it's more of a thing of like being in public and getting your wig snatched. That's kind of
Yeah.
wild. Regardless of who would be in. If I can be comfortable being naked with my woman, but shit, if I'm just out in the public and beat naked, like I'm mad about that.
Yeah. And I think too, it was just like what just happened with the dancers were, and then it so happened to be her that snatched the wig by accident. It was just like, nah. It was just like too much in a row. She's just like, I can't stand this lady.
So let me go back to Jason's comment. Because you said getting beat in public, and I was just like, well, we didn't have to go down that violent road. But would you ever go to a nude beach?
It depends. I don't know. It's not really my vibe. You know, we talked about hair recently, and I'm very hairy, so I don't know. I
You
don't
could
know.
just shave.
No, I'm not shaving shit, Chris.
Or wax?
I'm not waxing shit neither. It's hair. I got too much hair in different places to be waxing, shaving, and trying to get rid of it. Because then it's just gonna come back thicker, nastier, crazier. So like, nah, I'm
I
not.
feel like that's a myth, low key. I don't think that's
No,
true
that shit's
100%.
real.
It's
Oh,
real,
for real?
nigga.
No, that shit is really. I've seen it. Like
Let one of these wax women let you know what. Let me continue.
a lot of women are able to wax their dudes at the house. Now, I'm just
Nope,
saying.
that would never
But
happen. I
that's-
just feel like, nah.
That's just trust, though. If you got if your woman can give you a good wax at the crib, that's full on trust. It's gonna be painful, but shit, it's gonna be painful if you go to the wax place.
You let your man wax you, Jazz?
Hell no, because I trust my wax lady.
So I can't trust the wax lady too.
Why can't be as your wax? Why can't be as just as your man?
So I trust him in different areas. Unless he's out here, you don't need to be doing that either. Nah, I'm good. That's
I just contradict yourself because I definitely don't trust no. You
But
can
hold
trust
on.
somebody, but you ain't waxing me.
no.
I get what you're
Okay.
saying, but nah.
Okay.
That's funny.
My trust when it comes to that, I'm definitely putting it into the wax lady's hands.
Yeah.
Because because if he not laying it right and then he pull it the wrong way where he got to do another strip, we fighting. And like, nah. So he got to know what he doing. It's a lot of trust. So yeah,
I get it.
we can get off that. But
Jess had to think about it for a second. She was like, nah, that ain't happening.
hell no. So we get back to the Bachelorette, and the Bachelorette weekend is done. Amira and Ezra back at the house. They're both drained. They looking like two people that did not just have a good vacation.
Mm-hmm.
They just seem like really irritated as to what conspired on both of their trips. And Ezra's like, did you talk to your dad? She was just like, no, why? He was like, nothing. Because her dad was obviously checking out everything. And he's just like, okay, I know Akbar don't rock with me. So he's probably going to definitely tell her all the stuff that happened while we were in Vegas. And so Amira was upset because she found out that she didn't get the job because she's like tearing down her poster that she had made. And Ezra was like, what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
She was like, I didn't get it. And so Ezra, I feel like in this scene, he was just trying to be that supportive partner. And with the frustration that Amira was having, she definitely projected on him. And she was just like starting that whole racist conversation that just seemed like a reach to me. Cause she was like, I kind of felt like I knew where she was coming from, but I feel like it was a complete misdirect because if he was Black and he told you, I know some people that can help you in your next job venture, you would not have reacted that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So where I'm just like, if certain conversations and situations, like, okay, if you put a Black person in that situation that does the same thing, is it still racist? Or are you just saying it racist because the person that is in that is white?
I mean,
yeah, that's where it came
from. But Jazz, if
oh boy,
I called you a nigga, and then a white boyfriend call you a nigga, is it racist? Does it change? It changes the whole dynamic of that situation, right?
I would say it does, but also the action. If I was in a relationship with somebody and he was like, babe, I'm gonna help you, I'm gonna talk to one of my networks for your next position. I'm not going to look at him and be like, oh, it's easy for you to bring that to me for me. Like, cause I'm normally, if I'm sitting up here like, oh, I normally do all things for myself, but you trying to bring in your connections, you're not gonna get that same reaction, basically, is what I'm saying, if it was a black man saying it. Does that make
I think
sense?
it does. Well, she said you and your mom, she did, it was cool, but your mom did that tone deaf shit. And like when you see him with Akbar, he was being very tone deaf. And a lot of stuff he was making up stuff, trying to super be impressive to this dude when he should just be himself. So I got
No,
where she was coming from, but it's also the thing of I feel like it's more of a independent excuse me, independent black woman looking for that. I mentioned last time when I was talking about in the other
yes,
show,
ma'am.
Best Man, I said the knight in shining armor, but that's kind of what that is. Like she I feel like it's a thing that she doesn't want to be looked at as weak or having to depend on a person, and him coming in like, yes, he did. I feel like he said or did the right thing. I want to be able to help you, but it's also a thing of learning how to communicate with your partner, because sometimes a lot of men, I feel like we go to the whole thing. I'm for to help. I need to help. I need to do this.
Problem solved.
And a lot of times, in women, a lot of times, y'all just want to be heard. You don't care about me helping you with anything, or you will tell me what you want from me in that situation. And I'm not saying he could have did it differently in that. It was just a thing of she would have had to communicate that to him, because he didn't know. His girlfriend is hurting and he wanna help her.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this: if it was a black character and not a white character, would you have understood her giving him that same response?
Well,
She said so. She said I'm not looking for a knight in shining armor, and yes, I would have understood it. She didn't mention the racist. She mentioned the racist thing before
I'm
when she
talking
was
about
talking
when
about
they
the
were in
tongue.
the kitchen. I'm talking about when they were in the kitchen and he was just like, I'm just trying to help you.
mm-hmm.
It's okay to let somebody help you, because she was saying, of course, you just bring those connections that you have because you can benefit off of that. She was
Oh
basic.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I
That,
She's
mean,
like, that's
yeah,
how life worked for you. Something like
oh
that.
yeah, yeah,
exactly,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
exactly. So it's just like, I feel like in that scene in the
So
kitchen,
so
that
truth.
her
So
argument was a reach.
I okay. So in that situation as well, I went through that. I'm not rich. I don't have this, but I do have my parents. And like, I'm not saying they are they well off. I'm not going to say that neither, but they are. They do. They at least my father does a lot better than most, right? So a lot of people will look at one point. I seen it on. It's a Twitter conversation. A lot of time people was just like, you don't know about having to go do this because you can fall. You can stay with your parents. You can do this with your parents. You have your parents you can fall back on. It's like, okay, and my nigga, that's the point of having parents. The whole thing in a nutshell is if you have parents, like if you're raising your children properly or raising them right, I'm not saying that like you can use them the entire time, but shit at the same time, that's what I mean. That's kind of like what they're there for. You know what I mean? Like it's a if you have a safety net to fall back on, because everybody, I mean, things happen. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you can have this, you can have the greatest job, but then the job can get shut down. You can lose everything, and where you going? Like you could have, I don't know, mismanaged your money or whatever happened. And if you have parents, some people have that, some people don't. You know what I'm saying? Like some people are always like, man, I don't have nobody, and some people have, and people will really talk crazy about the person because they have people they can fall back on. And like I said, I've been in that situation. Like I've had to do this by myself. You've had a parent that can be there for you if you needed that. It's like, okay, why are you mad at me because I have somebody I can call? I'm sorry about your circumstance, but this is just my this is what my circumstance allowed.
Yeah. And I think when you get to the racial undertones, it's oftentimes, the generational wealth is the easiest way to, go to it.
Right.
More likely, it's not going to be for us. So
True.
I think that's where she was coming from. And then even with everything that just happened, she was still frustrated with that too. So it was all of that compounded into one. She was just like, yeah. But I think, like you said, with Jazz, the same race thing, probably not. But in this, just, in this scenario and everything that was going on, that's where she came out with it. And I see what they was trying to say. I think we sort of, like everything else in the movie, like some of the racial jokes and stuff, conversations are sort of forced, so it may have got over to this. But this one, I sort of understand where she was coming from, and just her frustration because she didn't get the job. The mom is acting the way she is, and she don't like that. And then things messed up with the bachelorette party as well. And then she's having this conversation where she's just like Jason said, sometimes I'm not trying to speak for women, but as guys, we just want to solve the problem right away. And she's just like, no, you don't get it. So even Jason said it earlier, like, you know, as far as dating outside the race and the understanding thing, that's one of those things we just get that, you know, someone else may not just understand straight up. And that's where that little bit of disconnect and her frustration came from. Because she's like, I have to work for this. You could just get handouts. And he doesn't see that because that's his reality. Right.
No, I completely understand that. I was looking at it and I was just like, he's just trying to help.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
you're a bit more understanding in most of these situations. Yeah.
Yeah, because she was very emotional in this moment too. So
right.
It's easy. You was thinking clearly. I see what Jason's saying. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because it's just like when you upset and your emotions is high, and you just like, I don't need you to try to come save me in this. I guess I want you to understand first.
Yeah.
But then, like you said, communication. If that's never really been communicated, how is he supposed to know?
Yeah.
So
because he's a mind reader. What do you mean?
Right.
Another callback.
Another callback.
Man, callback's the best man.
All these mind readers, like, it's crazy.
Oh, that was in my life. I don't know nothing about no mind best man.
Oh man, sorry.
But and so she was just like, let's get ready for this rehearsal dinner. Let's stop fighting, arguing. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. And she's just like, don't follow me. And then he just like, I need to get my charger. And I was just like, wait, you just be in the bathroom with her when she in the bathroom? Y'all be doing that?
I have. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just let me know you about the shit. I walk about that.
I'm gone after that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what are y'all?
Because if I got brush my teeth and
oh my God, Jay, what's up, man? You don't be like,
no.
Jason about to start something.
Let's start a
We're not starting no conversation. We're not starting no dialogue right there. Next. So we get to the rehearsal dinner. We don't have, normally I would think the rehearsal dinner kind of is a small version of the wedding. We don't have any Tron suits. So I guess that wasn't voted on. Damn it. But we see the couple at the table, and then we have their family coming in. You see people coming in that we've seen. How did y'all and so okay, before we get to that, we see another cameo, Micah Epps. Mm-hmm. And he is Akbar's brother. And then we get a little bit more of a backstory of Akbar. Because like normally we've been getting like bits and pieces, like when they were at the store or the juice bar with Omar. We're just like, okay, so wait, what's going on? But now we see his brother, EJ. Akbar's name is really Woody. But
he said Woody.
He's like, it's Akbar. So like, that's wild. Like, if y'all had a sibling that changed their name when they hit like 25, would you still call them their name that y'all grew up with, like originally?
In this case, yep. That's funny though.
Jason was like, I ain't gonna call him by his old name because he gonna smack me in my face again, and then his pinky. I don't
call my brother his rap name. You gonna get called what your mama call you? She'll call you that.
Oh, okay. So you like EJ then?
Uh-huh.
Got you. And so we meet EJ, and so Ezra meets EJ, and then we got Mike Epps being Mike Epps with the jokes. He's just like, oh, this is a master, or he said it's an Air Max, or he's just like, yeah, we about to get some money off of him, and I'm just sitting here like, every scene, I'm just like, come on,
I get it.
I'm like, God, and the jokes ain't even hitting. I'm like, what? And then it was funny because when Amir was like, I'm gonna go talk to such and such, and then Ezra was like, come back sooner than, like, come back fast. I'm not trying to be around these two people, because anytime Ezra is around Akbar, he's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But now you got Akbar and his brother. It's just like, what y'all think about this and seeing Mike Epps and Eddie Murphy in a scene together?
I like saying them.
Mm-hmm.
You got it, Chris.
I did too. It was a good surprise. Like I think Jazz said it was like a lot of cool cameos. Yeah, Anthony Anderson, Lala, all of that. So I thought that was funny. And then it was funny when Akbar, they were talking about his podcast, and Akbar said something like he said he do a podcast. He was like, about what? And he was just like kind of egging it on, like, just the dude, like supposed to be a family member now. So I thought that was kind of cool.
He was like, he do a podcast on Black culture. And like Ezra was just like, come on, man.
Like, why you put it like that?
The culture. And so you see different people having their speeches during the rehearsal dinner. I saw this scene, I was just like, all right, everybody does not need the mic. I'm gonna pick out who is gonna get the mic, because certain cousins and aunts and uncles, like, nah, we gonna skip over you.
You being. I don't like this, Jazz. You fake. All right, you
that ain't fake. No, being fake is saying
everybody.
being fake is me saying everybody can speak, and then we get to the rehearsal dinner. I'm like, nah, only these people can speak. I'm saying right now, before it's even a fucking wedding, everybody ain't speaking.
Yeah, I would have let him.
Not this dynamic, at least. Like, because I think, well, we get there. Well, actually, be here when Andrew Schultz stood up. What did he say? He was at January 6th. He was at the Capitol. I'm like, yeah,
he was a stormer.
Yeah, but we didn't need to know that. Like, you could have said.
He's like, Ezra tried to stop me, but I still went.
Yeah, it's just like, this isn't. You're not helping like, at all.
Jason, you letting like everybody speak?
I don't care who speaks. Speak your piece. I don't get no. Man, look, I'm not. Yes, because I'm saying, what am I hiding it for? Ain't that they not? I don't think anybody gonna go up there and just be like, what is there for me? What is there that I'm hiding?
It ain't about hiding nothing. Right. It's just like, I don't need you drawing out this entire thing, giving a 20-minute speech. Oh, fuck that.
I was my uncle. No, you give them time. You can definitely give everybody a time to speak. Because I was at my uncle. Well, he's my uncle. I think he may be my cousin. But it kind of get confused when you start getting older, you know what I mean? So we was at his funeral, and the guy probably was like, man, Uncle Charles gave my first blunt. I was like, yeah, like go up there and tell them about the time. I'm cool with it. Tell your story.
I don't have an issue with that. Everybody does not need the mic. Because, some folks get up there, and I'm not bringing attention to nobody, but some folks get up there and they try to exaggerate stories. And then you be like, wait a minute, we wasn't even that cool. Every time I saw you at an event, you didn't even really speak to me. What you doing with the mic? Get a mic to somebody who, nah. You're not on my MySpace top 20s friend list. You don't need no fucking mic.
She extended it to
okay. So
I got what Jazz.
I mean, but I wouldn't. But I would. I mean, you think somebody gonna be fake like that at my funeral?
Jason,
man, ain't no telling what people.
Look, a funeral, a wedding rehearsal, all of that, because some folks like attention. Now, I'm not saying I know anybody that do it, but I'm saying it's niggas that do it. So I'm just like, we need a list.
Why? I wonder. That nigga. That nigga. Hey, she said you can't speak at her shit. I'm sorry.
Your name crossed off. You actually sitting in the back on the second floor. That's where you at. But. So everybody is giving their speeches, and it's funny because, like you mentioned, his cousin that was at January 6th, and then you got her homegirl speaking. She's like, I see you got this white man, and she's like, girl, it's a few white people in here, and I was just like, bruh, come on.
Yeah,
I'm like, it was just too much.
I get it.
And then Akbar gives his speech. How did y'all think this speech was going to turn out?
I thought he was about to air him out, truthfully. But it was so when I first saw it, because remember Ezra kept telling like little small lies. Like he had the Holocaust ring one, and then he had what he said when he told his boss. So I thought this was gonna be like the culmination of everything, but he ended up sparing him. So it's like that's what I thought was gonna happen.
No, I didn't think it was gonna be nothing messy, like crazy at this point. So yeah, it was cool. It was all right, Yeah, it didn't feel like Ezra was like, I appreciate you for not, but it definitely still felt like a shot, like a whole bunch of shade.
Yeah, it was like that shade me and like everybody else don't know the context, but you know what I'm telling you. So yeah.
Right. And then Ezra was sitting there like his heart was about to bust out of his chest. And then him and Akbar went to the side and they were well, Akbar was already minding his business, getting him a new drink. And then Ezra came up to him and he was just like, thank you for not putting me on blast. And Akbar was just like, I'm not going to do that to my daughter. I didn't do that for you, but I'm not going to embarrass my baby girl in front of her family. Which I was just like, okay, shout out to Pops for sure. But he was just like, told Ezra to his face, like, I knew about you from the beginning. And I don't understand why my daughter is even like still on this road with you. You are not the person she's supposed to be with. And then at that point, I think with Ezra's character, he was just like, all right, I'm not holding back anything else I have to say. And he was just like, you've been coming at me every time. Every time you are around, it's terrible for me. Like you keep coming after my style, my music, my podcast, and you keep challenging me. And I just don't understand why you haven't taken the time to get to know me. And when Akbar was just like, the reason why is because the bachelor party, which when he said it, I was just like, my nigga, you didn't like him before the bachelor party. So,
right. So
that's a terrible like reason to even start that, because you already didn't like him before you went. You went there just to make it a terrible, uncomfortable situation for him. So it's just like, you didn't try. As a father-in-law, you didn't try to get to know him, especially being that Ezra told him to his face, like, all I've been trying to do is love your daughter. That's it. And so we see those two people, they split apart. And then we see Shelly in a mirror. What you think about this scene, Chris?
I thought it was needed, but I remember earlier you said when they was out together, the scenes parallel, and I think this was another one you may have was talking about as well. So I like the way they did that, and I think going back to Akbar and Ezra, like he finally challenged Akbar, because the whole time he was I don't want to say scared, but he was kind of
he was
like
intimidated.
docile. Yeah, intimidated. Okay, that's a good one. Yeah, he was like intimidated, and he was so busy trying to impress Akbar. But at the end of the day, I ain't got to impress you. Like, I'm marrying your daughter. You just like, you not trying to get to know me. That's your loss at this point. But the same way with with Lauren London, when she was talking to Michelle, she was just like, you know, this whole time you've been pretty much insulting me, and you don't even realize it at that point. And she needed to hear it, because she wouldn't hear it from Akbar. She wouldn't, I mean, not Akbar, I'm sorry, Ezra. She wouldn't hear it from, you know, nobody else. So she finally had to step up and say it. And I thought it was needed. Because they got to realize, like, y'all wilding out. Like, it's been going on too long. And it was causing so much of a strain on them, because even with the scene when, I keep forgetting the name, Lauren London, when they was in the kitchen and, you know, they had that blow up, that was a culmination of everything. Like, you know, the parents, that was part of it too. So she was just like, you screwing up our relationship. So I think 100%. That was well done.
100%. Yeah. Jason, is there anything you want to add?
Nope. Nah, he hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, I think this was very important, because then you saw the two together and they start to realize, like, there's no way this is going to work, because your parents are gonna stay who they are. They're not going to change. They've been like that for years. And so it's just like, instead of trying to change people that will never change, it's just like, it's just too much energy. And so they were able to come to an agreement of like, you know, it's just best if we just go our separate ways. They didn't want to do it, but they didn't see any other type of solution to that problem, which is one of those things where it's just like, a lot of people try to get together, but their families just don't clash. And it takes a lot to probably just be like, okay, let's try to distance those two things, because normally your family is like, you building something, so you bringing folks together. But when they battling and fighting all the time, it's just like, man, nah, it shouldn't be this hard, you know?
Exactly.
Could y'all marry somebody that didn't get along with the parent that you like?
It depends on if it's the parent tripping or the actual future spouse. Like in this situation, like, I'm going for it anyway, because you have to think about your relationship. Like, you can't, and it sounds kind of crazy, but odds are they probably gonna be gone, you know, before y'all. I mean, that's just real. Like, that's just a fact. But you can't go into it like, oh, we missed out on something good because of this situation, and they just gonna have to get used to it. Like they don't have a choice but to accept it at a certain point. Like once you be married and you got kids and all that, because you're gonna want to see the grandkids. So like once the grandkids start coming and they hit that, nah, you can't see the grandkids, they switch up quick. So, that was kind of dark, wasn't it? My bad.
It went down a road I wasn't expecting, because when you was just like, so they're not gonna live that long anyway, so it don't matter. You kind of said that, but didn't say that. And I was just like, oh shit, he went dark. But
Edit. But I mean, like you gotta, you can't stuff like that. They'll try to, but it's intentionally trying to separate. Like
right.
Akbar was, like at least Shelly, she was just ignorant, but Akbar, he was trying to mess him up just because. So
yeah, I think definitely I agree with Chris when it just depends on like what their issue is. Yeah. If it's a situation where you just like, if the parent is like, I don't think they're good enough for you, and I'm looking down my list and the treatment that I've been getting, wait a minute, you don't know how shitty this dating pool is, because this one right here is it. So I'm gonna go ahead and roll with this. But if it's something where like the parent has a legit issue,
yeah,
then okay, I'll assess it. But if it's like you said, what Akbar was doing, I was just like, nah, bro, you doing way too much.
Yeah.
But so they split up, which means they call off the wedding. We get another time jump. It had me feeling like I was in House of the Dragons in Westeros for a minute. I'm like, all these damn time jumps. And so we get another montage. We see that the Mo and Easy show is very successful. They're in the studio. They're recording visuals for their podcast, which is a good thing because he went out on faith trying to do something that he enjoyed. He quit his job. He was just like, I'm putting it all into this podcast thing, even though people were laughing at me. And obviously it was a good move. It worked out for him. And then we see a montage of Amira. And during this entire montage, you see what people are doing. And you also hearing the conversation that Mo and Ezra are having. And so you see Amira with one of her homegirls cleaning up. And she finds a shoe that her and Ezra were like one of the shoes they were matching. And so them the shoes you wanted, Jason?
Yeah.
Those Air Max.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Those are nice.
That was dope. And so she's obviously still upset about the breakup and everything. And you have Shelly at home watching Ezra's podcast and actually listening to what he's saying. And then you have, I thought this scene was funny because you have Akbar in the car with EJ and they're listening to Ezra's podcast. I'm just sitting here like, so y'all, you intentionally broke them up, but you listening to his podcast, like, nigga, you ain't shit. But shout out to those listens. Be sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, all of that, even though
the hater views count too.
Right. The hater views count. But like, what did y'all think about this scene when EJ basically told him about himself, of like how Akbar was really tough on Ezra, and how it was just like, you blaming him for something that he did before they were even together, and if that's all you were upset about, it's just like, nah, because you kind of did put your daughter at a disadvantage, and also Ezra. Like, how did y'all think about this scene?
I feel like that was real. Honestly, a lot of times our parents forget who they were, what they did, when they did it, and they will push all that to the side. And you can look at a situation like, this is my child, so you want the best person for your child. You want them to do X, Y, and Z, but you kind of forget all the things that you did when you were younger. So he definitely put him in his place. It was well deserved, I felt.
I agree. I was about to say you shaking tables with that one, but go ahead, Chris.
Nah, I like Jason said, he pretty much told him about himself, and I think it was a part of the montage, but the mom was listening, and sort of what was happening, what was being said. She had like an epiphany, like, oh, now she finally get it. And even with like Jason was saying, the parents, like, I understand you want the best for your kids, but you raise them, and you also raise them, if you did your job the way you think you're doing, to make those choices for themselves. So I get, you want to look out for them and make the best, but you can't be sabotaging. So he had to figure that out. And it was funny because he called him like Barry White or something. He called him White Barry White.
White Barry White.
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, I definitely listening to what y'all say that's funny because it's always one of those situations to where, and I can't, Jason, you could probably speak on this more because of experiences that you've had and you have kids, to where you just like, I don't want them to have to go through the things that I went through. But then I remember I had a conversation earlier with my parents of situations that I went through that I was able to grow from, experiences that changed me as a person, and how I was able to learn from them. And I'm pretty sure if my parents were able to see those situations of like, how do we prepare her to handle that? If I could prevent her dealing with that, what would I need to do to keep her from feeling that? But some situations I feel like in life, it's best that you got to go through because they help you grow. And it's funny because I heard a quote earlier from one of the characters from the show Harlem. He said, normally the person you are after the storm is not the same person you are before the storm. To where certain storms that you deal with in life help shape you to be better, to help shape you to be able to handle so many different things. And so, and a lot of those situations, just like you were down, you were struggling, you were sad, and no parent wants to see their child go through that, to where they're just like, what can I do to prevent that from happening to you? But sometimes that can shape your child to be so much better. You know what I'm saying? So as y'all were saying that, I was just remember that conversation that I had earlier. So I was just like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's facts. It's just like when you're a kid and you touch the stove after your parents tell you not to, you're gonna come out different because you ain't gonna touch the stove like that. Sometimes you needed to do that. Oh, I
ain't need to touch that shit to me.
I mean, some people understand if fat meat is greasy, and some people don't.
Ever since I was younger, I always was just like, let me see it happen for somebody else for me to learn my lesson. I don't need it to happen to me. So I try to be observant in situations, but
they say experience is the best teacher, but it don't have to be your experience. That's
what you say. That is fire.
Yeah,
that's damn. I gotta put a song together for that. It's gonna be that entire name. That's gonna be a long track title. But during that scene of EJ and Akbar talking, Akbar is listening to what EJ is saying, and he's texting and driving, and he's about to call Shelly. Just seems like a dangerous situation to have when you have somebody's life in the car with you, to be looking at your phone about to call somebody. But whatever. Jason, what you got to say? You be looking down about to call somebody when another life is in the car with you? Like, I'm like, wait till you get to a red light. All right, don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. I'm not letting Jason drive me nowhere. Ain't that right, Chris? You don't be driving reckless, do you? You probably do. But
remember we talked about indirect shots earlier? Jess just let the clip fly.
Shooting everybody.
That's crazy.
So we get a scene where we have Ezra and Shelly. They're on their way to get some shoes, or so Ezra thinks. Shelly let him know, like, I want you to give me some new shoes because one of my friends' son got them shoes, and that bitch keep talking about them, so hook me up with some new kicks. Ezra was just like, why now? She's like, just give me some damn shoes. And so they go to a spot, and then they see Amira walking down the block. Ezra was just like, oh shit. All right, so you're gonna have to like dead these shoes, we gonna leave. And it was funny because Amira looked up, she was like, Ezra? Now you know that wouldn't have been me, because I would have turned around.
See,
I'm not saying that.
That's crazy.
I'd have been like, oh damn, let me turn around. But she was like, Ezra, what's up? He was like, what up, girl? Which I was just like, what? She was like, what up, girl? What you think, you Brian McKnight? She was like, why are you acting this way? And he was just like, man, I don't know. He was just like, I guess it was nerves. Because he was like,
yeah.
So they bump into each other. At this scene, I was just like, the parents probably set this up. And here come Akbar coming out of nowhere. And so the parents send their apologies.
Yes.
What did y'all think about this? Would y'all have accepted these apologies?
I guess. I wouldn't have broke up. I wouldn't have broke up anyway, so it wouldn't have mattered. But
that too. Yeah.
But if y'all did break up.
Yeah, I would have accepted apologies because they clearly still was in love with each other. But it wasn't an issue with them. It was just an issue with the parents. So after that's resolved, then we good. So yeah, I would have accepted it.
I mean, it was
London
cool.
would look nice. You know, she was looking nice, so that would have helped the apology too.
So it was cool.
Yeah, that would have helped.
I mean, it wasn't. It would. They apologized the best they could for the given situation. So.
Is that apology that y'all would have accepted?
Yep, I would have said yes the first time.
All right. So then we see the both of the parents go into the I guess the building that Akbar had come out of, and so they were just like, "Oh, I miss you, yada yada yada. I bought some slides so I could be closer to you." Y'all be buying stuff that the spouse like for you to feel closer to the spouse?
No, I'm not Lil Yachty. I'm not Drake. I'm not doing it.
All right. What Drake album were you?
Her Loss.
Is it now? Because obviously Jason's like, I don't care about sis.
That's the whole album.
That's the he right.
Did you hear the album? Like what?
Yeah, you on point. That's funny.
Y'all definitely know y'all more on Drake than I am. But so then they go into the building and it's a surprise. Wedding. I guess their wedding.
Mm-hmm.
What if they didn't get back together? How long y'all think they would have sat in there?
After about 30 minutes, they would have got that. I hope.
I don't think they would. I don't think they would have been that long because the mom and dad would have probably, or one of them would have probably went in there just to,
be like, nah. Imagine you just waiting and waiting. They just like, nah. But they just go home instead of going back.
They could have pulled a Martin and Gina and dip out and get married somewhere else. Left the family.
Yeah.
Yeah, could have been because that's what had y'all wedding delay in the first place. But how did y'all feel about this whole wedding, this surprise wedding / reception, this entire this last scene?
Whatever.
Dang, just whatever. It was cool. It was everybody finally got along and everybody was able to mesh. So it was a happy ending. Right?
Yeah.
Jason, I need more than that, my nigga. Like,
what you want me to say?
All right. So, was there anything else y'all wanted to add? Because this was the end.
I know, like we at the end. That shit ain't shit else happened. They got married. They fake kissed. They had to shoot. They had the shoot CGI kiss. The shoe was a thing. They meshed their religions with their cultures within the wedding. It was cool.
They actually played the Jay-Z song, didn't they? Jay-Z and Kanye? I feel like they did it.
I think they did.
Well, and that was the end of You People. Was there anything else y'all wanted to add?
Nah, not really. I mean, it was.
Oh, wait. Chris,
yeah, you're right. My bad.
We're not there yet. All right. So the question that we asked when we get here, was it good though? And we like honest answers. Let us know. Let us know if it was good. Yes, let us know. If it wasn't good, kill that shit. Chris, was it good though?
It was okay. It was just like, I don't. So it's a rom-com, but it wasn't really that funny to me. You know what I mean? Like it was cool. I didn't feel like they had chemistry, but the actors, I didn't feel like they had chemistry, but the characters, like they was cute. So that was whatever. But some of the jokes was forced. You know what I mean? Like some of the jokes was kind of forced. Some of the scenes, I don't know how many we counted, but it was at least 3. We dragged out. It sort of went on too long, like they trying to force the comedy. Oh, okay, it was 4. It was like trying to force the comedy. I was just like, okay, I get it. So it wasn't terrible. Like I think on my second watch, I may have. My first watch, I was really harsh on it, but my second watch, I was just like, okay, I get some things, but it also wasn't like amazing. So. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Was it good though?
Yeah. No, it's a yes or no.
It was okay. So no. I wouldn't say good. It was okay. So no.
Was it good though?
No.
All right.
Jack's like, give me straight
right.
For somebody who loves options, she loved to take them away when it comes to the stuff that she wants to hear.
I knew what Chris was going with it, but for people who need that yes or no, I was doing it for them, not for me. I already knew how Chris felt about this movie.
He changed his mind because he changed his mind on the second watch, though.
No, I said it was a little bit better on the second. I wasn't as harsh on the second.
That's what I'm saying. So it was like for me, it was all right. It's not like it wasn't great. So I mean,
Jason, was it good though?
Based on your parameters, Jazz, no, it was not.
Is that our first no from Jason after 36 episodes and like
because you
200
took the
bonuses?
parameters away from the conversation. It would have been an okay movie.
All right, so I'll give you your 1 to 10. 5.5.
I'm not going with it. I'm not going with a scale. It's an okay movie. That's it.
But
I'm not gonna watch it. I'm not gonna watch it again.
Wait, let me ask this: did you watch it again for the episode? This episode? All right. I'll say no. I dreaded watching this a second time. Was it good though? No. It's good.
You dreaded it,
bruh. No, it's because these type of movies, like Guess Who, 10 times better.
Right.
10 times.
We
didn't need another one of these films. And I forgot to mention this, but when they were on the plane, you saw Kenya sitting beside Ezra and Mo on the plane. So he had to make his debut in his own project, which I'm not mad at that. A lot of directors and creators do that anyway. But I was just like,
I don't know if that's his debut. He's been in.
No, I'm saying in this movie, not like in anything
like you
else.
Had to pop up. Like
his
Tarantino moment, pretty much.
Right. I mean,
like
Wes Craven did that too. So a lot of creators do it. It's cool, but I was just like to be able to point out like exactly what scene it was, because he was like, "Oh, I've done that," and I'm like, "Well, you shouldn't have done this." But so Link of Thrones. Who would like to go first? Nobody.
Yeah, I'll go first. I got 2 choices, but I'm gonna stick with this one. Dion Cole. He was in The Harder They Fall, but I feel like we've done that before. Has somebody had The Harder They Fall? The Harder They Fall with
That has been done before.
Okay, so rewind. I'm gonna go with Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill was actually in Click. He played, like the time one of the time jumps. He
Adam
was
Sandler.
Okay, yeah, he was one of the younger versions of. I think it was the brother, one of the characters he was in.
Okay, cool. I will go next. I will pick Emily Arlook. She was in Grownish. She was the young lady that Ezra went out on a date with in the beginning of the movie. That laughed at his dream.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad.
So she's in Grownish.
Yeah, she was in Grownish. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm glad I switched that because that's definitely what I had. I'm gonna go with Sam J. Look at that. She's in Bust Down. She's a creator of that show.
Oh wow, nice. I didn't know that. That's dope.
Yeah.
Nice. Jason, did you have agree to disagree for this?
I don't think so.
I thought you had a question that you wanted to ask during this episode. And
it had nothing to do with agree to disagree at all.
What was your question? Since we don't have an agree to disagree.
It was I seen a boy on Twitter. He was just like, if you were to break up if you broke up with your significant other and they had exit interviews, how would you handle it? But I was gonna say but in a toxic situation.
Go ahead.
Is it public? Or it's like just for us?
Just for y'all.
That'd change how
it's public. I mean, what if they treated it like an exit interview, like in a basketball game, like after the game was over with, press conference, how would you handle that?
But I would say as an exit interview for a job, those aren't public. That's just in the database.
We said that. I said I mentioned sport event. I didn't go for no job. I said like a sport event.
Since you got these parameters, okay. Chris, you can answer first. Actually, it don't even matter. Yeah, I'm here for it. Let's go ahead. Let's get this exit interview popping.
Yeah, I think that'd be interesting. Because it can lead to accountability and growth as well. See some ways you went wrong. So, but I think it'd be funny too.
Especially if you got an exit interview where 4 of those are basically around the same thing, to where it's like you need to fix your shit.
Yeah, maybe it's you. That's
exactly.
I mean, that's facts.
What you think, Jason?
What do you mean? What do I? It depends. It really depends. If I was Harper, I mean, it would be. I would have to be very mature in that situation. But like, if I really was upset and didn't like this person, I would definitely be like, "Bitch, you need to. Your feet stink. Your mama ugly. The back of your ear need to be clean." I'm gonna go crazy with it.
If you saying all of that, but you was with her for 3 years, obviously that's something. Jazz,
it don't matter. Jazz, it doesn't matter. It's my exit interview. Stop trying to talk about how I'm handling my breakup. I can do it how I want to. I can feel like I wasted time after 3 years. I was with this person, and
I mean, if y'all broke up, you did waste 3 years.
That's not necessarily true. It's all about growth
It
and
was a
experience.
joke.
You just talked about
It was
ran
a
in
joke.
ran in the porn. Don't
It was a
no
joke.
no. Oh, okay.
It was a
Okay.
joke.
How did you not catch
Okay.
that as a joke? Like, really?
I did. No,
And
no,
he
no, no,
kept
no. I did.
going.
No, I did. No, I did. But I'm gonna flip it back on her.
He tried to
It's
bring
what she
with
just
jazz.
said.
I'm like, it was
I
a
flipped it.
joke. Right.
I flipped it.
It was that flip, like when Jada was in Charlotte. Wasn't a good flip.
It worked. Not the flip though.
It didn't work.
Not her flip.
Shout out to Jada. But was there any other question? I'm here for the exit interview. Hell, I'm here for the interview at the beginning.
No.
What you expecting?
Yeah. You're not. Oh, you wouldn't do an interview? I mean, technically, when you date
We
somebody,
already said we did.
you were shaking your head. No.
I was just shaking my head like you was like, because you was talking about, you said even an entrance interview. I'm like, why are we doing entrance interviews? I mean, I get it, but the
Oh.
entrance, you said entrance. You said, hell, I'll do an entrance interview. I'm just like, what?
I don't. Okay. All right. So we'll do interviews and exit interviews. We are all in agreement on that. Was there anything else y'all wanted to add to this episode?
No. Well, I did want to mention,
You said you was gonna kill somebody on this episode. I want to
oh,
see if you
yeah,
really
I
gonna
wanted
do
to-
it.
nah, I'm not. No, I can't. I was into.
You not about that life?
I'm just not doing it.
That's crazy.
Oh, all right. It is. That's what's up. He not about that life. It's cool.
I see.
Is there anything else?
Yes. Well, what I was going to actually say was, we did reach over 200 follow subscribers on YouTube. So we do appreciate everybody for listening, and that do listen. So we were going to do like a little kind of a giveaway, but we're not putting this anywhere else beyond you have to listen or you have to watch, either one. Every Monday we always make a post about what we are about to put out there. So we try to figure out if you can see the stuff in Spotify, Apple Podcasts, which you can't. So this is just going to give you not enough time, but a way to actually do this. So Monday, which was, what day is it? Monday.
Yesterday?
No. I don't care. Jazz, I'm not playing the game that y'all be playing. No. So Monday, February 13th. I'm not doing that. Monday, February 13th. We didn't record this on 13th, so I'm not playing. Monday, February 13th. We will drop a post about the episode coming out. So for the people who have listened or that have watched, we would love for you guys to I don't know, just acknowledge you've seen, you've heard, you listened to the actual episode. There's no way you would see this because we're not posting this anywhere else. So the only way you can do that, this is how you enter on the YouTube or on the Instagram page. And from there, we're going to do a raffle for the people that's on there, and that whoever wins, we're going to give away 2 tickets to see a movie. I'm not subjecting it to one movie, but I am picking 2 tickets to see a movie, a gift card. That is what I want to do. And this won't be a thing all the time because you're not fit to just get used to listen to the podcast to receive something from us. No, this is just a milestone within our time frame. So there you go. But yeah, that's all I had.
People gonna be expecting movie tickets every 100 subscribers.
No.
Like nah, champs.
No.
I guess should they leave like a comment on the post on Monday? Well,
that's when not say they won't see it on, well, it'll be on the Monday post. But yeah, just let them know what you think about the episode. I mean, it ain't gotta be nothing. So comment in the YouTube section of the actual video because it'll drop on Tuesday on Valentine's Day, or comment on the Instagram page on the Monday post. Again, on the Monday post. I'm not, these rules are not going anywhere else. They're not being posted. They're not being talked about. You have to hear this episode to know about this. That is all. Now that you guys have anything else.
I just wanted to add, definitely next month, we have our live pod in Tampa. We are reviewing Scream 6 live. We getting amped up for that, ready for that, getting our Ghostface swag, since pretty much Scream 5 is what brought our chat together. And it just seemed like the perfect movie. So definitely wanted to push that as well. If you're in the Tampa area, yeah, I'm not gonna say come holla at us because Florida.
When she said it, I was just like, oh, okay.
I'm not dropping which movie theater we're going to. So
Yeah, no, you don't put that out there like that. No. You DM.
yeah,
you DM us and we'll talk to you and we'll see if we cool enough to allow you to be
They gotta
around.
get vetted.
I'm
You
not
gotta
even
get vetted
signing off on
first.
that either, because if you look sketchy in the face, I'm not responding. That was a joke. That was a joke.
Just
but-
no ugly people alive.
That was a
Wow.
joke. Please be sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, all of that. But that's all I wanted to add. Did y'all have anything else? I'm not closing us out. I'm gonna let y'all handle it.
All right. Well, this was episode 36. You people, by Kenya Bears. Please leave the interracial relations alone, sir. We appreciate you guys for listening to this episode. Please like, share, subscribe. Let us know how you feeling about this episode and the previous episodes. If you'd like to be on the episode, take it up with your mama. We're not dealing with you. Unless you guys have anything else, we appreciate you for coming out.
Cheers.
Bye, guys.